I agree, Matt, and it also gives him a chance to get a good week of practice in, just to feel comfortable, get his legs underneath him. You know Kyle's a veteran. He prepares. He'll do everything he needs to do to be ready, but you want to still put him in the most comfortable environment.
Michael Grange, Brad Fay, they spoke to Marcus Saul playing here this evening. He will not start, as you see the starters announced here for the Toronto Raptors. He will come off of the bench. And then even Michael Grange brought up Hedo Turkoglu. I thought we were over that, Leo.
No, that left such a mark. We're not over it. But Michael was absolutely right. I mean, Hedo came from the world and he just took about a month and a half off. Nobody even saw him around.
Oh, interesting. He had to bring up the ghost of Hedo Turkoglu.
What's the interview? Ball.
Exactly. Now for the Houston Rockets. The Rockets last season ended up losing in 6 games to the Golden State Warriors after beating the Utah Jazz in 5 games in the first round. In the offseason, they made big moves, specifically bringing in Russell Westbrook. Chris Paul did not want to be a part of the Houston Rockets anymore. There was certainly, you could tell, a relationship that had strained between Harden and Paul.
And part of that relationship, you would have to think, Matt, is they both need the ball to be effective. Well, there's another relationship now, Russell Westbrook and James Harden, where they both need the ball to be effective. Ultimately, that's going to be the idea in Houston. Can this work? And not for the regular season, but in the postseason.
From the Saitama Super Arena, the second of 2 games here in Tokyo. Eric Gordon had 12 points in Tuesday's contest. The 3 officials, there's a former Raptor, PJ Tucker, Tom Washington, Rodney Mott, JT Orr are the 3 officials. Same officials that they had on Tuesday. 96 shots put up by the Houston Rockets on Tuesday. The Raptors put up 89. You talked about defense. If there's anything that stood out in Tuesday's game, and you would expect that, 46 total turnovers between the 2 teams. Fast pace for the Raptors, the first preseason game, the 3rd for the Houston Rockets. And clearly, you're not going to be as tight as you want to be.
No question about it. But I'll tell you what stood out to me. And again, you don't want to put too much weight in a preseason game. But the Raptors bench and their depth, I thought, was a huge factor in getting that first victory. And when you look at Houston and their history, their issues coming into the season, depth is a factor.
Norman Powell, Austin Rivers to address this sold-out crowd here in Tokyo, Japan.
I just want to say on behalf of the Toronto Raptors, I want to thank you guys for having us. Thank you for the city of Tokyo, the country of Japan, for having us. Hope you guys enjoy the night. Arigato.
On behalf of myself and the entire Rockets organization, we just want to say thank you for having us. We've had a great time embracing your culture. We appreciate you guys coming out and supporting us. And in return, we're going to come out here and play hard and put on a show. Thank you, Arigato.
Over 20,000 fans. And of course, all in preparation for the Tokyo Olympic Games. The NBA through the years has always enjoyed bringing basketball to the countries that will host the Summer Games prior to the Summer Games. And we see it once again here this season.
Well, the popularity of basketball in Asia is just off the charts, Matt. They love the game of basketball. And, you know, the only thing that surprises me is why we don't see more players coming out of this part of the world with the amount of participation and interest that there is in the game.
Tom Washington, JT Orr, and Rodney Mott are 3 officials. Identical starting lineups for both teams. Rockets 2-1 during the preseason. The Raptors are 1-0. Toronto in their red, Rockets wearing black. Serge Ibaka, 8 of 10 from the field, had 18 points, 5 rebounds.
He looked good. He looked in mid-season form.
Yeah, it's interesting. Siakam looked in mid-season form. Ibaka, I thought Norman Powell played exceptionally well. 14 points, 2 of 3 from three-point shooting, and Fred VanVleet as well with 16 points. You want to see, obviously, OG Anunoby played nearly 21 minutes, had 7 points. Maybe you'll see him start to emerge after that last season. You and I talked about this on Tuesday. And then the bench of the Toronto Raptors extremely productive as well.
Energy. You know, a couple of seasons ago, the Raptors bench was instrumental in them getting 59 wins, and I think we're going to see a little bit more of that coming into this season, their impact.
The Raptors and the Rockets will see each other during the regular season. First on Thursday, December 5th at Scotiabank Arena. VanVleet, the deep three, and it doesn't go off the front of the iron. There's Tucker, gives it over to Harden. Harden using the screen set by Tucker, gives it back over to Gordon. PJ Tucker, and a hard shot. It doesn't go. VanVleet up top, Pascal with a slam dunk. Oh, wake up! The alarm has sounded.
Well, if it hasn't, it did right now with you, Manny. Wow. Up and at him. But you know what? You know what you love about that play? Pascal's the guy that got the ball, got rid of it, and got it back. And that's something that Nick Nurse wants to see from his main player this season.
Here's Westbrook. It's 6:20 a.m. in Toronto. Wake up! Harden. Driving in the paint. He's just so crafty, so good at that.
And that's where, you know, we talk about resisting the temptation to try to reach, to try to take that ball away from him. Keep him in front of you. Raptors did a good job later in the game in their first meeting, and just make him take contested shots.
Fred VanVleet is fouled, and he'll head to the free throw line.
You know, Matt, you know, sometimes you got to think, what's going on in a player's head? And James Harden likes to play with the opponent. He likes to do all kinds of things on the floor. There's that beautiful play between Fred and Pascal Siakam earlier. But if you cannot allow Harden to just get comfortable, you know, have his rhythm, yeah, he can shoot. He's going to take a lot of shots. But if that's all you're allowing him to do is take contested jump shots, that's not what he wants to do. And that's got to be your goal.
Raptors on Tuesday lived in the paint more than the Houston Rockets.
Yeah, 64 points.
Yeah. Outside of James Harden, that also led to getting to the free throw line. The Raptors were plus 11 in attempts, and a foul on OG Anunoby.
All right, Raptors dominated the glass in that game, but you know, free throws is a good point, Matt. You know, with Kawhi Leonard gone, you know, who's gonna make up that difference? So one of the positives in the first game was Pascal Siakam got to the line 8 times. And that's something I think that he can start to do on a regular basis, because he's an inside-outside guy. He's not somebody that, you know, just wants to hang around on the perimeter.
Westbrook, dominant player with the Oklahoma City Thunder. First season with the Houston Rockets. Paired up with James Harden once again.
First meeting, 13 assists combined. Also 8 turnovers combined. So you're looking at 2, obviously high usage is a part of it, yes, but high turnover players on the floor. And that's going to be a factor.
High volume.
Yep.
Now, Harden on 14 shots got 34 points, so we've seen that before, but Westbrook definitely more of a volume shooter. Norman Powell has it denied, tied at 4 here early on. Here's Harden. Harden up top.
And see, that's what he wants to do. Right? He's a tremendous playmaker when he gets into the paint. He sees the whole floor, and Capello's one of his favorite targets.
with the James Harden and knowing that of all professional sports, how one player, OG Anunoby, can truly make a difference, why have James Harden and the Houston Rockets struggled so much come postseason time as Westbrook drills it through?
Well, look at what the Raptors did when they put together a championship team, or the successful teams over the years now. Chemistry, right? Pieces fit. When you look at Houston lineup, a lot of times you're seeing a collection of talent. A collection of talent doesn't always positive results. Also, Harden hasn't proven at this stage in his career that he's a postseason guy that delivers. Great regular season numbers, and sometimes I think he plays towards stats versus wins. And it's a lot easier to get those wins in the regular season. But when defenses lock in, a lot of things change. We've seen that with the Raptors in the postseason, and he's got to prove that he can deliver.
Corner three grazes the iron, scooped up on the backside by Eric Gordon. You mentioned defense. I think also that is certainly a key as Clint Capella slams it home, and the Rockets lead by 5. On Tuesday, they led by as many as 17, but defense, as we saw throughout the course of the postseason, the ability to play multiple styles defensively, certainly key. Turnover there, inclusive of the triangle and 2 and the box and 1.
Well, and I'm still amazed that people actually mocked some of those defensive decisions by Nick Nurse and his coaching staff. Hey, you win games, you do different things to change the rhythm of the opponent. Hey, you can mock it all you want. It was successful.
I think it was brilliant.
I agree.
OG Anunoby into the front court after the turnover.
I'd be more inclined to question and mock the offensive players that couldn't understand how to compete against a box and 1 at this stage in their careers.
Here's Harden.
See, this is what he wants to do. He plays around, and if you're on the floor with him, you're just watching him. Yeah, he's going to move that ball like this, and you're getting some great looks. And as a defense, you can't get caught up into it, right? And this is where if the main defender isn't taking chances, there's less opportunity for him to create for everybody else.
12-2 run by the Houston Rockets. Powell to Ibaka. Ibaka with the ball fake, spinning around. And the shot is good, and that ends that 12-2 run.
Elijah 15 moves to lose his defender.
On Tuesday, the Rockets put up 44 points in the opening quarter. The Raptors 40.
1, 2, 3, 4. Boom. Shake.
Dream shake. Here's PJ Tucker. So it was a high-scoring opening quarter. Raptors trail by 6. Siakam initiating the offense. Rebound into the front court. Here's Van Vliet. Dribble drive. Westbrook turnover. Here's Harden. Has a lot of different gears. And Harden baiting, gets the call. And that just, you just watch this.
Yeah, just want to get a hand up right there to see he got his foot underneath Harden. And that's what the officials looked at.
Mike D'Antoni in his 4th season.
Yeah, they're going to review that to see if it was intentional. And it's not. You know Fred, he's a tough competitor, but he's certainly not going to stick his foot underneath you intentionally to take your landing spot away.
They're going to review to see if it is a flagrant. There's nothing to me that would indicate that.
Yeah,
Fred just turns.
Yeah, it was a late step in. Obviously, he did get underneath him, but not. You know, we've seen it where guys are intentionally trying to crowd you, get under there. Fred was that was kind of a casual hand up, and unfortunately, you know, the officials may give it to him because you have to allow a player to come down.
Yeah, I mean, it was a casual walk up and.
See, Harden's tough, Matt. There are times that he's jumping away from you. There's times he's jumping into you. He's jumping to your side. So if you're a defender, you can very easily, inadvertently end up underneath him because he's a hard guy to play against. even the officials have a very difficult time. I mean, you go to NBA meetings and you talk to officials, a lot of the rules and interpretations are being adjusted because of players like James Harden and their ability to, and quite honest, frankly, fool the officials.
Common foul, call on the floor stands. The other thing of all the professional sports, at least in my opinion, this is the hardest to officiate. And there's a lot of different reasons why. OG Anunoby's shot doesn't go, but obviously body types, right? Talk to Shaquille O'Neal. He said, I was fouled on every single play.
Sure. Michael Jordan was too.
Right, and then the speed of the game, and then also the proximity of the viewers to the floor. It's the smallest playing surface, so you actually have access of looking and seeing every little thing. And right now, Houston rolling early as they lead by 10.
And back to the playing surface, the largest athletes on the smallest playing surface.
It's a great point. 6:23 remaining here in the opening quarter, and the Houston Rockets lead by 10. The second preseason game from Tokyo.
Sportsnet. Home. It's where we come from, where we choose to live and work. It's pride in what we achieve right here, like Royale products. We work to earn your trust every day, making quality products you can count on for every room in your home.
Proud. Products we make right here at home.
Proud that Royale is trusted by Canadians.
Royale, from a proudly Canadian company. Bathroom tissue, facial tissue, paper towels. There's a Royale for every room.
Run with us in the unstoppable John Deere Gator XUV 835. Because when others take rain checks, we take the wheel. Run with us. Search John Deere Gator for more.
The EQ Bank Savings Plus account gives you 2.3% everyday interest and the flexibility of checking. What more could you want?
Hang on, voice guy. How about no fees?
Oh, no problem.
Let's ditch that minimum balance.
Done. Anything else?
I wish for unlimited transactions.
Okay, not a genie, but you got it.
And I want my account to greet me with, hello, Jessica, fairest in the land, and smarter than that know-it-all Brenda from book club.
We'll certainly look into that. Get the account that gives you more.
Leafs Red Wings, Saturday. Sportsnet.
Over the course of the last 5 seasons, 2 appearances in the Western Conference Finals, but unable to break through and get to the NBA Finals. Of course, during the 90s, they were back-to-back NBA champions. Houston, known as Clutch City, Rudy Tomjanovich, one of the most underrated head coaches in the history of the NBA, guided the Rockets along with Hakeem Olajuwon, Clyde Drexler. They just had some tremendous runs in the Western Conference in the 90s.
But what were they? Inside, outside. They moved that ball. You know, defense was a big focal point of those Houston Rockets teams. Big difference from what we see with this Rockets team. How they're built, what their expectations are, realistic expectations.
Games.
Yeah, no, it has. No question about it. But I think the Rockets team of old could easily play in today's game. Olajuwon was ahead of his time.
Yeah, well, you know,
as a
have
big
to
man,
make some adjustments.
You know, as a big man, and they had guys that could go out and run. Clyde Drexler could easily play in today's game. As a matter of fact, he'd average about 40 a game in today's game.
Well, being on the perimeter, not being able to actually, above the free throw line, have a hand on a player.
Hey, if you couldn't put a hand on Drexler or Elijah, you don't have a chance of guarding him.
Nice round of applause for Marc Gasol. Austin Rivers.
You know what I think of when I see Gasol, Matt? A guy just loves the game. You can't do what he's done and put in the time. What a beautiful pass from Harden. You know, if you don't love the game.
Who had a better summer? I mean, he wins the title.
How many bottles of red are we talking about here?
I mean, he toned it down, I think, for Spain. I think. But he had a great time.
Why? They got some great wines over
yes,
there.
true. But, you know, I think one of the things that he acknowledged was that, you know, these times aren't going to last. They're not going to go on forever, right? To play for the national team, you know that as a player as well as a coach.
Well, I remember even talking to another former Raptor, Louis Scola. Little floater there by Rivers. You know, Scola said, hey, what am I going to do? Go in the gym, play pickup ball, do drills? I'm going to go play. I'm going to play for my country because one day I'm not going to be able to do it. And it's a great honor, and Gasol certainly represents that and lives that.
20-4 run by the Houston Rockets. OG Anunoby attacking Capella. Spin, step back in the paint. Too strong, and the Raptors in an offensive drought.
Yeah, not a lot of move. A little disjointed right now. You got to get a little bit more flow to the offense. Also try to get the ball off the glass like this and see if you can get something, get transition. Houston, not a great transition defensive team.
Haven't scored in better than 3 minutes.
Go to your guy.
And Pascal Siakam is fouled.
And see, Matt, this is why I said that, you know, 8 free throws attempted last game. Pascal is a guy that could legitimately get to the free throw line 7 to 10 times a game because he's not afraid of contact. He does a good job of lifting his defender and good shoulder fakes around the basket. And he also gets out and runs in transition. All those lend to trips to the free throw line.
Siakam, the first free throw is good. Pascal, 8 of 8 from the foul line. Here's Patrick McCall. McCall played nearly 21 minutes, didn't score.
Yeah, that's
2 rebounds, 4 assists on Tuesday.
He's trying to look at the rim. You know, it doesn't mean you got to be a big-time scorer, but you have to look at the rim. Especially when you're as quick as he is, you have to be a threat.
22-9. Here's Harden. McCall guards Harden. OG Anunoby is out. McCall in for OG. And a three-point attempt doesn't go for Daniel House Jr. Didn't play in the last game.
A lot of contact on that drive for Fred. McCall.
Harden gives it to Gerald Green, who didn't play on Tuesday. Siakam with a rebound here. Powell launches the three. Got it.
Well, Matt, you see the way, you know, and that three is going to be important for Powell this season, but you see the way Houston plays. They can be up big, as we saw last game, but because of the shot selection, you know, if they miss some shots, you can be right back in the game. So no lead is really too big when the Rockets have the ball.
25-12. Van Vliet, Gasol, Powell, McCall, and Siakam. And a foul on Austin Rivers. No continuation. Side out of bounds. I think the preseason for OG Anunoby actually is going to be important.
I agree.
Remember, as a rookie, started. Here's Tyson Chandler, the veteran, didn't play on Tuesday, checking in for Clint Capella. Siakam corner three. And the Raptors have cut it to 10. But OG, just to find that rhythm after last season. Here's a turnover. Pascal to the rim with a throwdown. 8-point game.
Changes the game, both ends of the floor. A unique player, fun player to watch. His energy is always there. And that's going to be a question this year. If he's the primary focus for the Raptors offensively, can he have that same energy, play with that same motive for 82 games?
Here's Pascal, kicks it to Gasol. Gasol with the three that doesn't go. Harden.
Good job right there. Just don't reach.
Three's good.
That's okay. I'll live with that. I don't have an issue with that at all. Everybody else is going to stand around and watch you. Miss that shot, you're off to the races.
Van Fleet. Gasol with a jumper.
You know, Kyle does such a good job of that little elbow action that you see Fred Van Fleet use at the free throw line with his big man, and that's a great way to get both Ibaka and Gasol great looks.
9-point game. Austin Rivers fouled by McCall. And we have a timeout on the floor. 28-19 with 1:56 remaining here in the first quarter. The second game from Tokyo.
What is money these days? We used to be able to feel money, see money, smell money. Now it's something we send, tap, or swipe. That's why we made this, so it's easy to see your money again. That's forward banking from Tangerine. 84% of Canadians feel like they should be saving more money. A savings account wouldn't hurt. Tangerine Savings Account. Find out how to get 2.75% interest on your savings accounts when you become a new client.
Slick roads and worn tires don't mix. But hey, because we're on this road together, you can save up to 25% off select tires.
Fountain Tire. We're on this road together.
At Harry Rosen, our specialty is helping you choose the items from our world-class selection that make sense for your style, wherever your work week takes you. Like my grandfather Harry always says, treat every customer like an individual. I'm Ian Rosen. Come check out what's new this fall at Harry's.
Bodog.net gives you free casino tips, poker strategies, and insider sports info so you can make plays on your favorite game. Bodog.net. Make a play.
Just fortunate to be in that situation, to be able to play at that level in such a short period of time, and helping two teams, accomplish the ultimate goal, which is to win all the way. It's two completely different competitions. The NBA, it's such a grind. It's mentally, really tough, physically really tough, and then just to switch gears within a month into training camp with the national team, and putting in 8 more weeks of basketball with the national team, and being able to accomplish another gold medal. It's hard to put in perspective, to be honest. But it just feel very fortunate and lucky.
What a tremendous season for Marc Gasol, being brought over from the Memphis Grizzlies at the trade deadline. And while his individual numbers maybe didn't stand out, the team's numbers did with the acquisition of Marc Gasol. Had some big games throughout the course of the postseason, and I thought one of the most significant games was actually Game 2 in the Eastern Conference Finals. Davis checking in, Gasol along with Malcolm Miller, Anunoby, and McCall. When after the one outlier game of the postseason, he said that was on me. They didn't point the finger at anybody else. That was on me. Raptors go on to win 4 games in a row. And of course, you know that it wasn't just him in Game 2 against the Milwaukee Bucks. Mm-hmm. But he took that on his shoulders.
He was the ribbon.
Yeah.
He was the ribbon that tied it all together when he got here. And how about this one? I'm gonna pick another game, Maddie. I'm gonna pick another game. Game 2 against Orlando when the playoffs started. Remember what happened game 1? Raptors didn't bring it. Didn't bring it defensively. All of a sudden, Gasol led the charge in game 2. The way he came out on screens, pick and rolls, he took everything away from the Magic, and that set the tone for the rest of the playoffs.
10-point game. House jumper, no. And McCall with a rebound. Gasol, 34 years of age in his 12th season. From Barcelona, Spain, originally selected in the second round by the Lakers in 2007, traded for his brother Pau Gasol, who had been drafted by the Atlanta Hawks, actually, traded for Sharif Abdul-Rahim as Malcolm Miller drills it away to Vancouver and moved to Memphis.
How about that creation by OG and Anunoby right there? Nice job of not forcing, getting that second defender to come over, finding the open man. And again, good defense right there. OG at the other end, just getting a hand up.
And
Westbrook
unable to catch up to that lead pass. Raptors offensively led by Pascal Siakam with 8 points. Here's Gasol with the rebound. 9 points for James Harden. And the Houston Rockets, House going for the steal. Here's that three that you were talking about, looking for your own shot. Davis off the offensive rebound from Gasol and batted out of bounds. But McCall,
yeah, got to look at that shot without a doubt. And here's a guy that I think opened up a lot of eyes in game 1. If you're not aware of who Terrence Davis is, you know now he can play. This is a young man that I think has got a huge upside for this Toronto Raptors team, and looks like Pascal Siakam stepped on the out of bounds line. But Davis, look at his body, Matt, at that guard position. Big physical guy. And, you know, he's got the nurturing of Fred VanVleet and Kyle Lowry to help him grow. And, you know, Fred very outspoken about the things that he's got to do to help Terrence Davis get over the hump and adjust it as a rookie.
Yeah, Malcolm Miller stepping out of bounds. You see 8 seconds remaining in this opening quarter. Raptors down by 7. Westbrook on the drive. Chandler, great defense from Marc Gasol.
He's making himself big. That's it. Doesn't even leave his feet.
Terrence Davis, the second from South Haven, Mississippi, just outside of Memphis, Tennessee. Played at Ole Miss. The steal. Westbrook, step back three. Doesn't go. 7-point lead for the Houston Rockets after the first 12 minutes of the second game from Tokyo, Japan. The Toronto Raptors will return home to face the Chicago Bulls this Sunday. Harden with 9 points as we head to quarter number 2.
Not sure how to describe this. With our app, you can snap pics to submit along with your claim, like this.
Wake up, wake up, wake up.
Intact Insurance, the insurance you dream of if you dream of insurance.
Hello, they are stunning. Who says engagement rings can't be covered? Probably the same people who say a lady's can't close. But sometimes you just gotta make traditions.
Start seeing out of this world. Depth and detail. One giant leap for resolution. Samsung QLED 8K.
This NHL season
on Sportsnet.
This guy gonna own the top shelf.
On Sportsnet.
That guy, the headlines.
On Sportsnet.
Who loves Saturday night?
Wednesday night. Sunday night. Every night. On Sportsnet.
That dude, an all-star. Fantasy star. Consummate gentleman. On Sportsnet. On the air, online, on Fuego.
And it's on Sportsnet.
This guy's smile is gonna light up the room.
And the goalie. Whatever, Ovi.
And when they make a run for the cup, it's all gonna happen.
On Sportsnet. Sportsnet.
Sportsnet. Sportsnet.
Rockets lead by 7 after 1. The 15 3-point attempts, just standard fare for Houston teammates, the way they run back with Michael Grange. I'm Brad Fay. The one thing when you defend against the three or the expectation of a three, you give up a little bit in behind. A few dunks in that first quarter for the Rockets.
Right, and that's something that sometimes gets lost in the mix when talking about the Houston Rockets. They're not only reinventing the game in sort of being committed to the three-point shot as a more efficient way to score, but that threat of that three creates the most efficient shot in basketball. That's a layup at the rim, and so often it just starts with Harden, just being such a dangerous player off the dribble, beats that first man. Someone has to help, and then you have Clint Capella crashing the rim, and that's why he's such a good player for them.
Second quarter action from the Saitama Super Arena. It's Matt Devlin, Leo Robles, guys.
Thank you, Brad and Michael. In fact, on Tuesday, Leo and Gerald Green on the drive and an offensive foul, and OG Anunoby taking the charge as you see him step in here.
Nice job to slide in, try to get his feet set.
55% of the shot attempts on Tuesday were three-pointers. 53 three-point attempts out of their 96. That is not going to change. They're going to, throughout the course of the regular season, shoot 55%, quite possibly 60%, continue to shatter all the three-point shooting marks.
Oh, hey, Michael Grange said they're committed to the three. I got a question. Are you committed to the D? And hey, a couple years ago when they went to the Western Conference Finals, they melted down offensively in that series, right? So question is, you can't just say I'm going to live by it, because you will die by it. Yeah, you could be a focus. Yes, you could shoot a lot of threes. It could be a huge part of your game, and the game in general is going in that direction. But you have to have the other pieces, and you have to have the chemistry, and you have to be able to dictate what you want to do at the defensive end, and they, quite frankly, haven't shown that commitment.
Terrence Davis, the second to the rim, and he comes up just short. Westbrook now. House corner three, doesn't go. And a foul on Gerald Green as he tears Malcolm Miller to the floor. Nearly a minute into the second quarter.
Well, Davis had a monster dunk in game one. Right here, he gets pinned on the rim, but again, you still gotta love this kid. His energy, not afraid to attack.
Serge checking back in for the Toronto Raptors on a Thursday morning. Back home in Toronto. The veteran Tyson Chandler with a denial. And Green lets it fly, doesn't go, saved by House. Green, the closeout by Miller. And Eric Gordon driving. And the shot is good.
He's just so tough, and I'm a big fan of his when he's doing that. Not just shooting, but doing that. Matt, I'm gonna throw one more. You and I have a lot of discussions about the three, and hey, the three's here to stay. It's not going anywhere. But I'm still I'm still a big proponent of shot selection. Yeah. Even if you're taking volume threes, shot selection is critical, and that's where I think teams like Houston.
It's not as simple as that, because as we know, if you looked at Golden State's shot selection, sometimes you would shake your head.
I think in general, though, they have better shooting.
Well, there you go. It's also the person, right? It's also the individual that is taking the shot, as Westbrook drills the three-pointer. Back to a 12-point lead. Raptors getting their first bucket here in the second quarter as Davis, the second, goes to the rim. OG with the interception. Tiptoes along the end line, gives it to McCall. Miller. Ball fake drive. McCall for three. Doesn't go. Serge Ibaka spinning around, and the bucket is good underneath. And it's back to 8.
Well, Ibaka just does a great job of just being there. He was such a key player in the playoffs with offensive boards. Yes. Remember when the Raptors were struggling against the Sixers, and Nick Nurse decided to go big, and Ibaka's impact on the offensive glass just changes games. Able to get those critical offensive rebounds, the second and third shot opportunities, and I like this move right here. Davis going at Chandler. Chandler's a fixture and a known defender in the NBA, Davis saying, hey, I don't care who you are, I'm coming at you.
B.J. Tucker checking back in. I agree. We talked about this on Tuesday. The versatility of the roster that Masai Ujiri and Bobby Webster put together, and then Nick Nurse. And with two defenders coming,
I'll see Ibaka did a great job of helping. OG Anunoby left Chandler all alone and didn't help Ibaka.
The Raptors using that big lineup against Philadelphia. Drive, kick. And the three-pointer is good.
This kid is good. he is good.
Turnover. McCall fouled. And he'll head to the free throw line in this 7-point game with 8:38 remaining here in the first half.
Well, you know that what McCaw brings to the table is the defense. I mean, he is a guy that is exceptionally quick, long arms, and does a very, very good job at that end of the floor. If he can just get comfortable offensively, make good decisions with the basketball, you know, he's going to have an opportunity to get significant minutes for this team.
O'Shea Brissett checks in.
From where?
From Canada.
From where?
In
Where
12 minutes of action, was 1 of 4. Had 6 points, 4 rebounds.
Brought a lot of energy. Him and Chris Boucher off the bench brought a tremendous amount of energy for the Raptors.
5-point game. Not as high scoring as Tuesday. Westbrook. And Serge Ibaka with a rebound. Sends it now to McCall. Driving to the rim. Doesn't finish, but back to the foul line. Ben McLemore, I believe, committed that foul.
And we're starting to see a little bit of what we saw in game 1. The impact of the bench.
Yeah.
I think that you're seeing some different options that Nick Nurse can throw out there where you have length. You have excellent defensive opportunities to create offensive defense. These guys get out and run, and the energy level kind of goes up a notch. Whereas for Houston, even though they have a mix of starters and bench out there, I think it impacts the game in a positive way for the Raptors.
Well, it's interesting. You go back to last season, so many people were talking about the bench of the Toronto Raptors, which had excelled the year prior as Eric Gordon connects from downtown. But there was a graduation of Pascal Siakam from the bench into the starting lineup.
Was traded away.
Right, correct. Ibaka unable to get that bucket, and McCall unable to reel in the rebound. Here's Westbrook. Finds Gordon open, and the three doesn't go. Second chance opportunity. Gordon gets it back, and the three is good. And back to a 10-point lead. But we may see a version of that bench mob as we saw maybe 2.0.
Yeah, I think we will, and I think it's going to make a big difference for this team.
Long rebound, Ibaka sticks it.
A big adjustment. You know, we discussed in game 1, and you know, you're playing a team like Houston, and with the idea that, you know, the whole league's going to shoot more threes, you got to adjust your rebounding. Long shots, long rebounds, and everybody on the floor has to realize that you're a rebounder just by nature of the shots being taken. So you have to be aware, you have to be aggressive, and you got to go get the ball at the defensive end. Finish your defensive possessions.
Van Vliet back in, Harden back in. This is when Houston will put Harden in and take Westbrook out, and that's about 5 minutes of the second
Your
quarter.
turn.
Yeah. Mike D'Antoni giving them a little bit of their free run, right? Go ahead, do what you do.
And, you know, I get it, and I think you need to do that, allow them to have that freedom to say, this is my team right now, and I'm going to do it. But, you know, ultimately, that's not what's going to decide the Houston Rockets' fate. It's going to be what they do together.
8-point game, 43-35. Rockets with 6:42 remaining in the first half on a Thursday morning back home in Toronto.
What is money these days? We used to be able to feel money, see money, smell money. Now it's something we send, tap, or swipe. That's why we made this, so it's easy to see your money again. That's forward banking from Tangerine. 84% of Canadians feel like they should be saving more money. A savings account wouldn't hurt. Tangerine Savings Account. Find out how to get 2.75% interest on your savings accounts when you become a new client.
Burger King presents the Flame Grilled Whopper, featuring 100% beef, no fillers, no preservatives, with freshly cut lettuce and steamed tomatoes. Now, for a limited time, get 2 Whopper sandwiches for just $7 at a Burger King near you.
Royale Velour Plush and Thick Bathroom Tissue is the velvety soft tissue that feels good to the touch. It's the plush and thick brand that won't tear apart easily. Try Velour in longer-lasting Mega Plus rolls with 4 times more sheets. All it takes is one touch to realize it's the feeling of Royale Velour Plush and Thick Bathroom Tissue. There's a Royale for every room.
Get a $10 Ultimate Dining e-promo card when you buy $20 in Royale products.
Pet care ain't easy. 12 hours, 20 dogs? Where's your belly rubs? After a day of chasing dogs, you shouldn't have to chase down payments.
Send invoices and accept payments to get paid twice as fast.
It's time to get yours.
QuickBooks, backing you.
Kick off the day with protein and energy from Vector. Show the boss who's boss. Show the game who's game. Nice catch. Show up with high protein and energy from Vector.
On Blu-ray and digital.
To infinity and beyond!
Your Toy Story friends are coming home.
On my way, Woody!
To infinity and beyond. Disney Pixar's Toy Story 4, now on Blu-ray and digital.
Well, a lot, man. It was just, this trip is really showing me, you know, how far a round ball can, you know, take you in life. I never thought I would be going to, you know, Tokyo or Japan, like, that's the same, Tokyo, Japan, but I never thought I would, you know, be going out the country or out of, you know, the continent. And, man, it's just such a blessing. You know, like I said, a round ball can really, you know, really take you somewhere, and just, you know, a blessing from God.
Leo, you certainly know that. The kid from Kiel, all the different countries that you have played in, representing Canada. As you see, Davis, Boucher, and Brissett.
Oh, it's amazing what the game can give you, Matt. And you know, as Terrence Davis said, you know, at one point in time in my life, I never thought I'd be able to travel around the world and see the things I've been able to see. And I tell young people all the time, the game didn't use me. I used the game to see the world, to get an education, to provide for my family. And that's one of the great things, that if you put in the time, put in the work, those doors open up. And Terrence Davis, very appreciative of the situation he's in now, as many of these guys are.
He was an outstanding high school wide receiver, had over 20 football scholarship offers.
I believe that.
You can tell by the way he's put together.
Yeah.
And Serge Ibaka from the foul line. First is good. 7 points for Serge, along with 6 rebounds and an assist. Davis leading the way off of the bench with 5 points. He's +3 here in the first half. 6-point game as we head to the 6-minute mark of the second quarter. Clint Capella doubled, leading to the turnover. O'Shea! Oh! Denied by the rim, gets it back, the left doesn't go. I don't think I've ever, as Powell steps into the 3 and it's good, I don't think I've ever seen that twice, especially on a Thursday morning.
2 rim denials.
Before 7 a.m.
Well, that's just it. That's the problem right there. Not enough caffeine in the system. Wow, but hey, how about the defense though, Matt? All that was created from the defense, and ultimately ended up getting a 3-point shot from Norm Powell. But you know, that's what I like, is what they're able to create at this end of the floor right now to lead to those opportunities, even though they did get pinned.
Harden step back three.
Good defense. O'Shea Brissett just staying down. It must be that Syracuse zone in the background that allows them to do that defensively. Do you think?
Van Vliet rattles it in, and we're tied at 43, an 8-0 run. Who needs muffins and donuts in the morning?
Oh, we do. And here's the problem. Brad Fay and Michael Grange complained last game that we got some. So this morning, nothing for us. Nothing.
P.J. Tucker connects.
You know, those big studio guys, when they start the line, you know, it's over.
They get not only the muffins and the donuts, but all the camera time, too.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. FaceTime. Which you'd think they'd be a little bit selective about how much they eat and intake when they have the FaceTime issues.
Right down Main Street. Serge Ibaka. And a one-point game, 46-45 with 4:37 remaining in the first half. 10 points now for Serge. Here's a three-point attempt. Clemens was 2 of 8 on Tuesday from three-point range.
See, Matt, you look at Houston, everybody just standing around the perimeter, one pass, take a three. And all that allows is the Raptors to just lock in defensively, as long as you get the long rebound and you get great scoring opportunities the other way.
Fred misses, deflected out of bounds. It'll be Houston basketball. Serge Ibaka.
Norm Powell doing a great job head up in transition. You know, Nick Nurse has made a few comments about Powell. Number one, he's played extremely well in the preseason and training camp, but also understanding when your job is done. You know, you attract that extra defender, you get that help guy to come over and get rid of the ball. You've done a great job. You don't have to force plays. Take what the defense gives you, and he's looking for his shot, knocking it down, which is also critical.
Gasol checking in for Serge. There's Nick Nurse.
And how about Sergio Scariolo as well? I mean, he's an NBA champion with the Raptors and the coach of Spain.
James Harden, and it rims out. Here's Fred attacking, and he'll head to the foul line.
You know, Fred relishes these opportunities to play when Kyle's not in the lineup. He can be the starter. And Fred talks about being the starter. He thinks of himself as a starter, but he also says, you know what? I'm not going to let my own ambition get in the way of this team. If Nick Nurse feels I'm better off the bench, I'm playing off the bench. And that's the kind of attitude this whole team is projected from last year right through right now. But when he does get the opportunities to start, or last season in place of Kyle, he always delivers.
Tied at 46.
Or he can pull off the playoff. My hip is tight. I need to start the second half.
Exactly. Crafty in many ways is Fred VanVleet. Clint Capella on the inside. Powell to Gasol. Gasol to the cutting. Fred VanVleet and a foul. And the foul will be charged to Ben McLemore.
You know, Harden, you know, so good at delivering the basketball. Did you hear what Eric Gordon said about James Harden? He said, as good as a scorer he is, I think he's a better playmaker than he is a scorer.
And maybe that's what we'll start to see this season with Westbrook and with Gordon.
Well, I think...
And Clint Capella, you know...
I just think when you're talking about Harden and Westbrook, ultimately it comes down to saying, okay, what do we have to do to be a champion? We've all got great numbers. We've all got great stats. But what do we both have to do to win a championship?
VanVleet with the steal. Gasol sends it to Powell. Going end line, deflected, gets it back, and banks it in. Norman Powell again, extremely effective.
And making the right decision. Defender running at him, putting the ball on the floor, get to the rim.
First lead for the Raptors since it was 6-4. VanVleet guards Harden. Harden now in the paint, driving. Yeah, look, when he gets in there,
it's over.
Yeah. Powell triggers a three, got it, and the Raptors lead by 3.
See, this is something we saw last season. Houston scores. Get the ball down the floor quickly.
Slam dunk, Capella. Powell put in a big summer, spent time with Kobe Bryant, as did OG Anunoby at a camp in Los Angeles. I don't think they worked on passing in that camp. Gasol.
But, you know, I think the exposure to Kobe in that time with
How
him,
great is that?
talking about the Kobe, it's the little things, right, that make a great player. Kobe was able to share that with the players there, including Norm.
And the Mamba mentality as Harden drives and Houston to buy one. Let's see. Rodney Mott. It appears as though it's a delay of game, and is that the second delay of game here? Let's see. Rodney Mott over to the scorer's table. They're going to take a full timeout here. Full timeout. Rockets by one. 2:18 left here in the first half on Sportsnet. Tangerine Raptors basketball.
What is money these days? We used to be able to feel money, see money, smell money. Now it's something we send, tap, or swipe. That's why we made this, so it's easy to see your money again. That's forward banking from Tangerine. 84% of Canadians feel like they should be saving more money. A savings account wouldn't hurt. Tangerine Savings Account. Find out how to get 2.75% interest on your savings accounts when you become a new client.
Everyone has a crew. A stone cold, never blink, walk in slow motion crew. 3 rows, built for everyone. Leave no one behind in this sporty, spacious, crew-ready Cadillac XT6.
Home. It's where we come from, where we choose to live and work. It's pride in what we achieve right here, like Royale products. We work to earn your trust every day, making quality products you can count on for every room in your home.
Proud. Products we make right here at home. Proud that Royale is trusted by Canadians.
Royale, from a proudly Canadian company. Bathroom tissue, facial tissue, paper towels. There's a Royale for every room.
Start seeing out of this world. Depth and detail. One giant leap for resolution. Samsung QLED 8K.
Tampa still alive. Now Game 5 in Houston, where the Astros have been dominant. Glasnow Cole, winner to the championship series. Rays Astros, tonight on Sportsnet.
Welcome back to Tokyo. After arriving on Sunday, the Raptors have been busy on the floor. 2 practices, 2 games, but still some free time to get out and enjoy some of the sights and sounds. Earlier in the week, Norm Powell, Stanley Johnson, Fred VanVleet watching some sumo wrestling and going behind the scenes. A bunch of players getting out to enjoy some meals around Tokyo, including OG Anunoby and Serge Ibaka, who last night took in a nice meal at a traditional Japanese robotiaki restaurant. And last night as well, head coach Nick Nurse and assistant Nate Yorkin seeing some baseball, cheering on the Tokyo Giants. Now, as much as it's been a great time here in Tokyo, the Raptors certainly looking forward to getting on the plane on Friday and getting back home to get in front of the hometown fans for their next game, their first and only home preseason game on Sunday. Let's go back now to Matt and Leo.
Nick Nurse, a big baseball fan, of course, a Chicago Cubs fan, went last night to the Tokyo Dome to see the Yomiuri Giants.
So he's going to pick up some baseball gear, too.
That's right. The Hanshin Tigers and the Yomiuri Giants playing in the Japanese Professional Baseball League. And Norman Powell in the denial with Clint Capella there. And one of the great hitters of all time playing for the Yomiuri Giants, Sadahata O, hitting in over 800, Leo, as Siakam with a slam dunk.
Can I ask you a simple question?
868 career home runs for the great left-handed hitting Sadahara-O of the Yomiuri Giants.
Is there any sport that you can't call?
Well, that's
Is
baseball.
there anything you're not
That's just
100% proficient in?
He was-
You call hockey, you give me the hockey, you give me the baseball.
A great feed underneath. Shea Brissett turns it over. The Yomiuri.
Oh, hey,
the
guess what we
delivery
got
comes.
delivered?
We got delivery of leftover muffins and donuts.
Yeah, with bite marks from Brad Fay and Michael Grange on them. Look at that.
Here's Norman Powell. Nothing like a half-eaten donut in the morning.
Yeah, that'll get
Raptors by 5.
Hey, Norm looks good, huh?
54.
14 points already for Norm Powell, knocking down the three. You know, he's got those sneaky hops. He kind of he gives you that look, all of a sudden he's going to dunk on you. That was kind of a odd pass. Clint Capella tapping it right back to Westbrook. You're a big man. Just go up, take it. Right here. I'd much rather see, if I'm coaching, Clint Capella turn back over his left shoulder and going at Gasol using his size instead of giving it to the smaller player. What are you giving me, man? What kind of muffin is that? Muffin or donut? That's the big question right now. I think I'm going in the a cinnamon coffee roll. That's where I'm going.
You're going to do that?
Yeah, that's what I'm doing.
All right. It is 7:15 in the morning.
Anything you eat before 8 doesn't count, right?
Is that the deal? 59-54.
I'm just going by watching you over the years. I thought that was the rule. Anything before 8 doesn't count. Anything after 2 a.m. and anything before 8 doesn't count.
Here's Raptors lead by 7. It's an 8-0 run.
Life on the road.
Yeah. Westbrook. And the shot does not go. We have a foul on the floor. And I believe it's going to be on P.J. Tucker with 29 seconds left here in the first half. Raptors, as I mentioned, they'll return home. They'll take on the Bulls on Sunday. That's actually a quick turnaround for the Toronto Raptors.
Bulls they're an improved team. And watch them play last night against New Orleans. I like some of the pieces they brought in and some of the other younger players that have matured.
Malcolm Miller will head to the free throw line.
Now, I got to ask you a question. Okay. You're a big three-point guy. We've discussed this.
I'm not.
But do you? No, you are. You are. No. I've heard the lectures. You are. But do you enjoy watching when a team like Houston just comes down, just takes turns shooting threes?
Well, it's the game.
No.
It's the game. It has nothing to do with whether
Golden State shoots threes, but they don't just come down and take turns. There's great movement. There's flow. There's transition.
Right. Different style of
I'll
offense.
be honest, this is hard for me to watch.
Yeah, it's totally different style of play. 10-0 run by the Raptors. Harden.
One's been a champion, the other one hasn't gotten there.
Here's Tucker. Well, they run more isolation. Everybody talks about isolation basketball. The Rockets run more isolation than any other team in the NBA. But they feel as though that's going to get them to where they want to go. The foul on to Malcolm Miller.
Yeah, Harden just puts so much pressure on you when he turns that corner. He doesn't give you a chance to get away from it, to avoid the contact. He just doesn't give you a chance to do that.
Raptors lead 63-54. Harden with 14 points now. Gasol. Powell lets it go. And an air ball. But the first half comes to a close. Raptors lead by 8. Brad Fay, Michael Grange. When we return, and thank you for sharing your donuts in the leftover muffins. Tangerine Raptors preseason basketball on Sportsnet.
What is money these days? We used to be able to feel money, see money, smell money. Now it's something we send, tap, or swipe. That's why we made this, so it's easy to see your money again. That's forward banking from Tangerine. 84% of Canadians feel like they should be saving more money. A savings account wouldn't hurt. Tangerine Savings Account. Find out how to get 2.75% interest on your savings accounts when you become a new client.
Rogers Infinite Data is here. And that means more.
Because we don't want to stream just one movie. We need every movie.
And we're not just catching a game. We're sharing every goal, trade, and stat.
It's unlimited data the whole family can share.
Infinite.
With no more overages.
Because we like our data, like our tacos.
All you can eat. Rogers Infinite. It's data that goes on and on.
You don't have to go to another planet to be an explorer. You can be an explorer right here on Earth with a completely redesigned Ford Explorer. Redesigned for any terrain. Redesigned for any mission. Like picking up the kids or a rotisserie chicken because you just can't bring yourself to cook tonight. The all-new 2020 Ford Explorer. Explore like never before.
Need a change of scenery? Kayak searches hundreds of travel sites and lets you filter by takeoff time, layovers, and more, so you can be confident you're getting the right flight at the best price. Kayak. Search one and done.
Oh, I forgot to pick up dessert. We could just give them ice cream.
I think we can do better than that.
Nice. It's almost like we planned it.
Don't panic in the face of dessert.
The original Ghost Pepper Burrito is back. Only at Mucho Burrito.
Midas has great brands and great prices.
Oh, even better.
Always a touch better at Midas.
Oh, Midas. Some people say that I've got the gold.
Nobody says that, right?
Buy 3, get 1 free instantly on select Goodyear and Firestone tires.
Tangerine Raptors basketball on Sportsnet. Brought to you by Tangerine, the official bank of the Toronto Raptors and their fans.
Tokyo, Japan, the site of the Rockets and Raptors playing the second of back-to-back preseason games in that world nation. 63-55, the Raptors lead the half after falling behind early in this one, just as they did in game one with Michael Grange. I'm Brad Fay, so plenty to chew on. Clearly the numbers are down a little bit, whether it's better Raptors defense or those Rockets threes aren't falling, but Pascal Siakam, a constant again, solid first half.
Yeah, I'm just trying to finish chewing on the donut. Sorry, Brad.
That they alluded to, yeah.
Yeah, Matt and Leo, they lose. I win. But Pascal Siakam, let's get used to this. He looks comfortable was the word you used in the open, and why not again? I mean, he's got great chemistry from Doug Van Vliet going back to the Raptors 905 game, and again, that corner three, catch and shoot, that's also an element to his game that he added last year. But can he do all the things we've come to know and love, but keep the elements of his game that really allowed him to break in? And that's the activity in transition, the activity on defense. Clearly, in the first half of an exhibition game in Tokyo, he's got it. The 3 assists and a half, again, just a full package, kind of a box score stuffing player. And maybe that is the ceiling for Pascal Siakam, almost like a Giannis Antetokounmpo light. At least physically, he's not quite there with Giannis, but in some ways, he's got elements of his game that Giannis would like to have.
A couple of years ago, Norm Powell had a chance to start at the 3. He got hurt. OG Anunoby took it and ran with it from that point. So the 2-guard position is Norm Powell's to lose. And even if it wasn't, he seems like he stepped through at least through a game and a half that he's not going to give up this position without a fight.
That's right, and that's all credit to him. He knows this is his opportunity, and And Norm Powell, for me, the real key for me is, can he be a consistent three-point threat? I mean, the Raptors are really going to be trying to fill that hole with Danny Green gone, best three-point shooter in the league, arguably. And people forget Norm Powell has had 4 NBA seasons. In 2 of them, he's been a 40% three-point shooter. We've certainly seen in the postseason that he can take over games and series at times. And in this first half against the Rockets, you've seen why. I mean, 4 or 5 from 3. He's got a really comfortable, to me, looking stroke. As long as he's kind of in rhythm and he knows when it's coming, when he's got to mix it in with some other elements of his game, and then defensively for him is also going to be something that's going to keep him on the floor, earn him minutes when maybe those shooting slumps come. So Norm Powell, look, he should be. He's in his prime. He's in year 5. He's a four-year college player. This is his season, I think, to really have that run of consistency that we've all been looking for.
And as Matt alluded to, working out with Kobe Bryant in the offseason, the passing isn't necessarily in focus. The shooting looks great. Fred VanVleet with Eric Smith when we come back. Raptors by 8.
It's Saturday night.
On Sportsnet.
The Jets look to shine in Chicago. Score! Hockey night in Canada. Saturday. Sportsnet. Saturday on Sportsnet. An original 6 matchup. Leafs, Red Wings.
Score! Thrilling working.
And Montreal takes on the champs.
Backhander score!
Hockey night in Canada. Saturday. Sportsnet.
We're in the business of the early morning risers and efficient packers, the food lovers and stargazers, the comfort seekers, the high flyers, the rule breakers, the wanderers, the caffeine obsessors. We're in the business of the pace setters and city chasers, the travel insiders, the priority hunters, the next level service seekers. We're in the business of you.
Now, there's a foodie for everyone. The roasters, steak grillers, sheet pan meal thrillers, the supers, burger flippers, and french fry dippers. Whoever you are, whatever you want to make, be proud of what you cook.
How we doing?
Fabulous.
I wonder how the firm's doing without its fearless leader. You sure you want to leave that all behind?
Success never settles. The redesigned RX series. Brave reinvention crafted by Lexus.
Little Caesar's deep dish pepperoni pizza is in the house. Bite in a mouth-watering pepperoni, cheese, and crispy caramelized crust for just $10.99. It's Little Caesar's, and a whole lot of tasty. Hot and ready.
Those office moves were piping hot. But to his back, electroshock. Rovac's dual-action formula relieves pain and relaxes tight muscles.
Introducing the new GLS, a 7-passenger luxury SUV.
Are we ready to go?
Possibly the safest, most spacious, most Mercedes SUV ever made. Mercedes-Benz, the best or nothing.
TV and radio, baby.
Fred, Nick said after game 1 he wasn't thrilled with what he saw defensively in spite of the win. What did you guys do differently or maybe work on specifically heading into this one, holding Houston under 42% here in the first half?
We tried to close down some gaps. They had their way in the first quarter, but come out second quarter, try to pick up the intensity, close the gaps down, just make it tough for them. They're hard to stop, but thought we did a decent job there in the first half.
As much as you guys have enjoyed your time here in Tokyo, how much are you simply looking forward to maybe getting back home and get in front of the hometown fans?
Eric, we got another half to play, man. Come on, what you doing? We got another half, then we can go home. We can go home after this half, I promise.
Win or lose, I'm sure though you go on and get back home.
We miss you, Toronto. We'll be back soon.
All right, thanks, Freddie.
Fred VanVleet starting in place of the still injured Kyle Lowry. Lowry expected likely to play in the final preseason game for the Raptors, which is a week from tomorrow. And the Raptors with an 8-point lead. Van Vliet, one of 4 starters in double figures, and that includes Serge Ibaka, Michael Grange, who looked just basically last year was a real revelation for a lot of people. Changed the game completely, just looked much lighter, much quicker on his feet, and picking up where he left off early in this one.
Absolutely. I mean, he looks fantastic. I'm not sure he's missed one of those 15-footers yet. I mean, he was perfect in the inner squad. He was perfect in game 1. And, you know, when he gets his feet set, and although they're not set in this shot, I mean, pretty amazing. But that's a good example, actually, of how comfortable and confident he is. And the other things I'm looking at is the speed with which he's sprinting the floor. This is that 15-foot jumper we've seen that, you know, it's money, really, is what it is. But this play here, just, you know, this is a preseason game. He's a veteran. He does not need to be running the floor with that speed, but he is because he feels comfortable, he's feeling fit, and he's feeling enthusiastic. And the other thing I've noticed is his ability at times to put the ball on the floor, kind of in a modest way, but put the ball on the floor, create a little bit of offense, not only for himself, but other people. And I remember talking to Jama Leila, the Raptors 905 coach, and how much work Serge Ibaka is in rounding out his game, and you can see it even in exhibition play so far.
Absolutely. The Raptors with an 8-point lead, 63-55. The second half coming from Tokyo. Matt and Leo will have the call for you when we come back. Good morning.
We really need to update this garage before it gets cold.
It is not pretty.
All right, let's start making a list.
Let me think. The car.
Don't miss Toyota's Get In and Go event. Right now, get a $500 winter tire or vehicle cash credit when you buy or lease a qualifying new Toyota.
You did it.
The Toyota Get In and Go event. Hurry, it ends soon.
Every day, Unilever does good for the world. Every squeeze, every smile, every drop, every style, every spray, every sizzle, every day. Every Dove teaches girls self-esteem. Every Hellmann's helps reduce food waste. Every day you does good. Unilever.
Rated T to M.
Shades of night are falling. It's twilight time. Out of the mist, your voice is calling. It's twilight time. Each day I pray for evening justice together. At last at twilight time.
Men's hair goes through a lot, so make sure it's ready for anything. Dove Men Plus Care Fortifying Shampoo is specially engineered for men to leave your hair stronger and more resilient. Dove Men Plus Care.
You've waited all year for this. To get back out there, to lace up, get your stick on the ice, and you're always ready to show up for your team. That's why you drive this, the 2019 Ford Escape, built with smart technology to help get you safely to the game. Right now, get 0% financing plus no-charge winter tires, rims, and sensors. Get the SUV that's built to get you out there. Get your Escape today.
The Sealy Upgrade Sale is on now at Sleep Country. Get amazing prices on Sealy mattresses with built-in technology, like the Sealy Optimum Posturepedic Queen mattress that contours to every curve. On sale for $549. Hurry, this price ends Tuesday.
It's not about where you start. It's how far you'll go. Esso, supporting hockey for more than 80 years.
Toronto Raptors getting set for the start of the second half from Tokyo. Opening night, just a couple of weeks away. Tuesday, October the 22nd. Zion Williamson and the New Orleans Pelicans in town. Toronto Raptors with the ring ceremony. The defending NBA champion Toronto Raptors. Raptors outscored Houston 40-25 in that second quarter. And the defense, certainly, you could tell there's just more emphasis on it.
Well, after the first game, Norm Powell said that when they watched the video, that's all they didn't show any offense. It was all defense, what they could do better, what they could do differently. And again, I like the impact that second unit, the bench is having defensively.
Corner 3 doesn't go. OG Anunoby, Ibaka, Powell, Van Vliet, along with Siakam. Tangerine Raptors preseason basketball. Well, breakfast basketball here as Siakam has it knocked away by Westbrook. The muffins and the donuts are nearly gone as there is a foul. Raptors will return home, as we've mentioned. They'll take on the Bulls. They're playing just 4 preseason games. Houston playing 6. 4 enough?
Yeah, I mean, you got to remember, it's not like the old days where you show up to training camp and you start then. The guys are already in shape. Guys have been working out. Guys have been together with their team. So 4 games is plenty. Yeah, I think everybody wants to just get at it.
Well, I agree with you. I think 4 is more than enough. And in fact, when it was 8 was way too many.
Yeah.
And I like the Sunday game at home and then not playing again till Friday, because from a coaching perspective, you're going to get more time in the gym with your players instead of just playing one game after another.
Exactly, and things you see on in those exhibition games, whatever you do play, you want to be able to clean up and tweak and work on and so forth. So, and as we talked about, integrating somebody like Kyle Lowry, getting him back into the mix. So that practice is so important to have that mix of games and time in the gym to just work on things.
Raptors by 5. Norman Powell will head to the foul line, and Clint Capella commits the foul.
You know, Norm's just been doing an excellent job of making the right decisions, Matt. When to attack, when to take the jump shot. He's shooting the ball with so much confidence. And really throughout his time, you know, as a Raptor, that's the one thing that has always come up when you talk about Norm, just making the right decisions. And it's something Nick Nurse feels very comfortable with him at this stage.
First free throw attempt. Norman set career highs last season in minutes, scoring, field goal percentage, assists. Despite starting just 3 games after averaging 20 starts in his first 3 seasons. Different role, different team. I think everybody believes now is the time. And here's the other thing. Early in his career, first 3 seasons of his career, he probably spent more time at the 3 instead of at the 2, which would be his natural position. Ibaka on the inside on the rim. So maybe a little bit more comfort there. Gordon, deep 3 is good. 6-point lead.
Matt, I'm going to throw something out at you. A lot of guys had career years last year, right? And Fred, Ibaka, you talk about Norm, Pascal. What's the common denominator? Who puts them in a position to succeed? Nick Nurse. Yeah. You got to give Nick Nurse a lot of credit for finding ways to put all these different players in a position to succeed, to get the most out of them. And, you know, I don't think he gets enough credit. I think Nick Nurse has done an absolutely phenomenal job from start to finish last season. And again, he's one of those coaches that coaches like everything in order, right? They want to know what's happening and make sure everything is the way it should be and don't like a lot of changes. I've never seen any coach welcome chaos or crazy changes or players not like and welcome it as a challenge. Right. And Nick Nurse has done that, and nothing seems to faze him, nothing rattles him. He's got a great basketball mind. He envisions players in different scenarios. He's not afraid to try it out. Like a boxer one, hey, let's try it. Let's just try it, see what happens. It works, it works. And a lot of players, a lot of coaches don't like to get out of the box and be that adventurous.
Tucker drills another 3. And a 2-point game. OG Anunoby up top, attacking, and a foul on to Westbrook. It's on the floor, so side out of bounds.
Yeah, OG putting the ball on the floor, Matty, with his size in some of the matchups can be a big plus for the Raptors. Westbrook in transition, always an issue.
Powell gives it to Serge. Short. And a rebound for Clint Capella. Harden lead pass. Taken away by Van Vliet. As it went off the fingertips at Capella. Open 3. Siakam drills it.
Give Fred a lot of credit now. Number one, defensively, he was there. He stops the transition, gets the ball up the floor, and finds his buddy Pascal Siakam spotting up. And no hesitation on that spot up either.
Sidestep, Harden in and out. Siakam with a rebound.
See, to me, that was just a shot that I just feel like taking a shot. No rhyme or reason for it. I just feel like taking it. And that hurts this Houston ball club.
Raptors by 5 and a foul on Norman Powell.
Well, is it at the point with Houston that James Harden is just not going to relinquish this style of play because he wants to prove that it could work? They have gone to 2 Western Conference Finals, right? You know, this will work. This will work, so I'm not changing. It's going to just be interesting. It's an interesting storyline throughout the course of this season with Westbrook.
I got another reason why you might not change.
Norman Powell connects.
Got paid. Right? Hey, you wait. You're going to give me all this money, but then tell me you don't like the way I play? It's not working?
Well, it's not that you don't like the way he plays.
Right,
we all agree.
No, he's a supremely talented player. I mean, he's incredible, some of the things he can do.
MVP,
yeah,
he's
I don't question
a Hall of Famer. That we all know. Powell on the move in the attack. And he has exploded for 21 points. Save it for October 22nd.
And great job. Yeah, exactly. But great job coming down. You know, mentioned in the first half, head up, seeing the floor, he's reading the D. He's seeing where his teammates are. He knows he's got the spacing. Help's not there. Boom, take it all the way.
The biggest thing, because the Raptors need this from a consistency standpoint, he's 5 of 7 from 3-point range.
Well, as we said, you know, compensating for Danny Green, right? The 3-point shooting. Where are the Raptors going to get it? If you can have performances like this out of Norman Powell, that's going to be a huge relief.
Gordon and OG Anunoby, yes. Pascal.
And you know what's great about that pass right there? You got Pascal Siakam long. He can run. He can finish in transition. Give it to him early where he can do his thing. Nice delivery from Fred.
Westbrook, and he's fouled, and then he slams the basketball. Raptors on 11-0 run, and frustration for Westbrook.
So there's that good defense by OG, a little grabbing on that, and that's where you get a little, as you said, a little frustration coming out. But when you've got players like OG and Pascal that, you know, with their length can guard multiple positions, good pressure on that pass.
Fred, the deep 3 doesn't go. And PJ Tucker with the rebound. Here's Harden trying to create contact, which he did. 79-68. Raptors lead.
Slick roads and worn tires don't mix. But hey, because we're on this road together, you can save up to 25% off select tires.
Fountain Tire. We're on this road together.
Good on you for sporting a look that moves without stretching your wallet. Now at Moore's, designer suits start at $299.99. Dress and casual shirts are 4 for $165, plus take 50% off throughout the store. Only at Moore's.
After a night out with your friends, not having a plan for a safe ride home can leave you in a bad spot. You could end up riding in a police car, an ambulance, or a hearse. These unplanned modes of transportation can be a costly choice and do not take you home. Your plan could include a designated driver, a taxi, or public transit. Drink responsibly, choose your ride, and have a plan for a safe ride home.
Visit ArriveAlive.org to find out more.
Wednesday's best dramas.
Do what needs to be done.
Are now on City TV. One city.
The order was mine.
One night.
Bloodhead trauma loss of consciousness.
Chicago Med.
Mayday! Mayday!
Fire.
Firefighter down! Firefighter down! It's on us!
And PD.
What were you doing there? The prints are at his house.
I said I would handle it!
Chicago Med. Fire and PD. Wednesdays on City TV.
We really need to update this garage before it gets cold.
It is not pretty.
Start making a list.
Let me think.
Don't miss Toyota's Get In and Go event. Right now, get a $500 winter tire or vehicle cash credit when you buy or lease a qualifying new Toyota.
You did it.
The Toyota Get In and Go event. Hurry, it ends soon.
I'm looking forward to the culture. You know, I'm a big culture guy. I like experiencing and seeing new things, seeing what Japan has to offer. I had a friend of mine, been stationed in Japan for 4 years in the military. You know, he said he loved it, so I'm just excited to get out there and see that.
What a game for Norman Powell thus far, and you see his productivity over the last 2 seasons. Three-point shooting continues to improve, and he is 5 of 7 here this morning, back home in Toronto and, of course, in Tokyo this evening.
Oh, I just love what I'm seeing from Norm. You know, the maturity. You know, he's got a lot of respect for the game. He plays the game the right way. He's definitely a grinder. He puts in the time. He puts in the, you know, getting the shots up in the gym. And also, what impresses me is, you know, he's just a great young man. The more you spend time around him and get to know him, and the work he does with the big brothers and sisters is phenomenal. Phenomenal.
10-point lead. McCall back in along with Gasol. Gets his own rebound. Patrick on an outlet. Here's Matt Thomas stepping into a three that doesn't go.
Hey, no hesitation, though. Your job as a shooter, come in and shoot. Lets it fly.
Stanley Johnson played just under 7 minutes on Tuesday on the floor as well. Harden remains on the floor.
And Johnson struggled, had 3 turnovers in his limited time on the floor. And he's going to have to find a way to assert himself in the minutes that he does get.
Harden last year led the league in scoring, Leo. Made 378 threes, 2nd in steals, 3rd in minutes played, 6th in triple-doubles, 7th in assists, 16th in double-doubles. His 378 threes last season, 2nd most in NBA history behind the 402 that Curry took in 2016. And he begins his 11th season, 11th all-time in career threes. And of course, those numbers with the volume that threes are now taken in the NBA, they're all going to get shattered. You think back, Reggie Miller, you know, what his numbers would look like.
Larry Bird,
Ray Allen, even, although he, at the end of his career, was in that three-point
players like Dominique Wilkins. I mean, he had range on his jump shot.
How about Sam Perkins?
Yeah.
And I remember talking to Hersey Hawkins, who was a great three-point shooter. And this was last year. He's now with the Portland Trailblazers. And he said that, and Stanley Johnson's at the line, Raptors by 8. He said if he took his first 3 threes and one of them did not go, he said the next time he shot the ball, he said, I had to get a 2, otherwise he knew he was going to get pulled out of the game.
Yeah, absolutely.
He said, now you can go 0 of 8 and they're going to keep you out there.
Yeah, hey, why'd you turn that down? Take another one.
Here's Matt Thomas.
And that does a lot for your confidence too, Matt, when you know you can take that shot whenever you want. It's certainly, if you're not confident shooting the basketball, something's wrong because you have the freedom to do it.
Air ball. I wonder if Tim and Sid purposely turned the heat off here.
At least you got a
turned the
sweatshirt
AC
on. I'm freezing in here. And of course, we don't have
the AC on.
Somehow, again, maybe it's Michael and Brad, but we don't have the hot coffee anymore here either.
Here's McCall on the take. I think they turned the air conditioning on this morning. 5:24 to go in the third. And a foul on P.J. Tucker.
You know, we saw from McCall last year, briefly, he's got some explosive moves to the bucket. Obviously, he moves extremely well in transition. He can get up and down. You're going to put on your coat, seriously?
Yes. Oh, there's an extra. Well,
that's my jacket. I'm not going to wear that. You got a coat. I got a sport jacket.
It's cold. 81-72 with 5:24.
Should have just kept my down comforter. Just rolled out of bed right into the studio.
With the slippers.
Yeah.
And your PJs on, the flannel PJs. You love those plaid flannel PJs.
Yeah, I'm not a PJ guy, I'll be honest with you.
Here's Harden. Shocker. Harden on the inside. And he'll head to the foul line.
See, as much as he plays with the ball, so you get the herky-jerky moves, and it's, I think the one word to describe what you need when you guard Harden, discipline.
Yeah.
You just can't bite. You can't reach. You can't buy into what he's trying to do, and it takes a lot of discipline because players love to reach, they love to gamble, they think they can get it, they think he can block a shot, but he's just playing with you, and you have to resist all of that.
What do you live with in his game?
Contested jumpers.
You can't leave your feet. You can't.
Yep.
You don't want him in the paint.
Nope.
You probably allow him to shoot that three, but just be there.
Be there. Make him each one as difficult as you can, as far away from the bucket as you can, because he will take them, Thomas, and just contest every one of them. Contest every. If he beats you that way, hey, okay, so be it. But when he's getting triple doubles and putting up big scoring nights, you got serious issues.
84-73. And a nice move. House getting right to the rim. Rondé Hollis-Jefferson checking in. Raptors by 9. Shot clock at 10. The dribble drive. And Stanley Johnson unable to finish, and it's knocked away.
Well, now this is something that Nick Nurse is going to be looking at and trying to figure out with Stanley Johnson and Rondé Hollis-Jefferson on the floor together. What does that do as far as shooting the basketball? Now he's got Matt Thomas out there. McCaw, he's been quiet offensively, and Gasol can spread the floor and shoot. So you have two slashers and cutters on the floor with a couple of shooters. So it's going to be interesting to see how this dynamic plays out. And that's one of the reasons you have these preseason games, to see what you can get out of them, and maybe the confidence of letting a Stanley Johnson or Rondé Hollis-Jefferson get some shots up and just see if they can get comfortable.
Harden didn't play much in the second half on Tuesday. Getting a deeper run here on Thursday. Thomas to Gasol, nice back cut, but out of bounds and a turnover. Raptors by 8, and even though it's preseason, you can see the competitive nature of Marc Gasol not happy with throwing that ball away.
Well, he approaches every game the same way. Just tries to be efficient, tries to be smart. Nice job there. Chandler with the finish.
Chandler on the inside. Here's McCall with an up fake. As you said, the ability to spread the floor, shoot threes with this lineup. Be interesting, and a loose ball foul. It's going to stay
here.
And Hollis Jefferson, Matt, he's so active on the boards, able to just keep that ball alive and pick up a foul and give that penetration that ends up as a bucket for Chandler at the other end. But, you know, that's one of the things I've always liked, you know, when we've had games against Hollis Jefferson, just his activity. Yeah. You know, this guy just he gets after it.
On this team, he has the ability to potentially be a 15-minute a night, you know, energy, play D, run outs. Not a great shooter.
No. Well, and again, that's the thing with him and Johnson. You know, what are you going to get out of him as far as that goes?
But you and I know this, and this is one of the things that, to me, stands out with the Raptors organization. Harden, a great job defensively there by Hollis Jefferson, talking very much to what you said earlier about contesting. But this Raptors team and the organization, they do a great job developing players. And you think about the time spent with Pascal. Now, a lot of that is during the course of the offseason, but then also in season as well. And I remember last year, you know, Nick Nurse, you know, talking with the staff about let's go ahead and get a Patrick McCall on what we would do with our summer program, right? It's during the season. He's not playing a ton of minutes. Let's go ahead and put him on the summer program from a shooting standpoint to improve that element of his game.
Right, and again, what Nick does such a great job of as the coach is putting guys in positions to succeed. So he's going to be watching a Hollis Jefferson, a Stanley Johnson, say, okay, how can I get these guys to play a little better, you know, get a few more shots that they're comfortable with to help them get in a rhythm, you know, and I think the ability to put guys in together that help each other and maximize each other's talents has been something that Nick Nurse has been very, very good at.
7-0 run by the Houston Rockets here, with 3:02 left in the third. And Marc Gasol to the foul line.
You know, and that, you know, and it's not all on Nick Nurse. I mean, he's got I think a tremendous coaching staff that really does a great job of working together to come up with different things that they can do on the floor and different combinations at times that can make a difference. And as we saw throughout the Raptors championship run, you know, no fear to try something different or try some combinations that maybe you're saying, hey, you know, we haven't used this much, but it's going to work right now. Nice show by Marc Gasol.
Harden in the paint, knocked away by Gasol. Numbers. Hollis Jefferson, no. But that's ultimately, from a defensive standpoint and the ability to get out and run, that's what he can provide this Raptors team. Rivers with a three, and it's a three-point game.
Well, much like I said earlier, Matty, when the Rockets have a big lead, this doesn't mean a lot, but at the same time when they're down, they can get right back into it with the three-point shot.
Raptors led 79-66. Gasol over the shoulder. Hollis Jefferson, mid-range game. McCall.
That's a good shot right there. Patrick McCall, as quick as he is, using that dribble to give himself a little space and rise up.
7 points for Patrick. Screen set by Green. They get the switch. Hollis Jefferson has played well against Harden.
And you don't get hurt by that switch. You go from McCall to Hollis Jefferson, you're okay. Ooh, tough pass.
And Hollis Jefferson throws it away. Raptors by 5. And we have a timeout on the floor. 1:35 to go. Tangerine Raptors preseason basketball.
20。是不是没这几颗啊？哎，不一定，不一定。
归你，我吃15个就好了。
At Harry Rosen, our specialty is helping you choose the items from our world-class selection that make sense for your style, wherever your work week takes you. Like my grandfather Harry always says, treat every customer like an individual. I'm Ian Rosen. Come check out what's new this fall at Harry's.
At Rogers, we believe in the power of youth. It's why we created Ted Rogers Scholarships, to support more team builders, more community leaders, more difference makers. With Ted Rogers Scholarships, now in its 3rd year, we're continuing our commitment to the next generation, so they can reach their full potential and create a future where anything is possible.
The EQ Bank Savings Plus account gives you 2.3% everyday interest and the flexibility of checking. What more could you want?
Hang on, voice guy. How about no fees?
Oh, no problem.
Let's ditch that minimum balance.
Done. Anything else?
I wish for unlimited transactions.
Okay, not a genie, but you got it.
And I want my account to greet me with, "Hello, Jessica, fairest in the land," and smarter than that know-it-all Brenda from book club.
We'll certainly look into that. Get the account that gives you more.
Calling all NHL fans, get the NHL Live and see more than 1,000 national and out-of-market games. Subscribe now for only $199.99 at NHLLive.com. 88-83 as the Raptors lead by 5, 135 remaining here in the 3rd. PJ Tucker, Westbrook on the court. House sets a screen with Rivers and Gordon. A tighter rotation for Mike D'Antoni thus far. And Rivers a 3, doesn't go. Stanley Johnson with a rebound. He's pushing it. Johnson drives himself right into the corner, essentially. And Hollis Jefferson put too much there.
Yeah, last few possessions, he's got to get under control, man. One of the ways to stay on the floor is taking care of the rock. Well, I tell you what, Gasol, he's getting the foul on that play, but, the last few possessions.
I don't know about that call.
I know, I don't like it because he's jumped like. But you see the forward momentum. The advantage is going to go to the offensive player in that. Both players moving forward, the offensive player is going to get the call. But Gasol, even in his brief time on the floor, his impact defensively, it's just fun to watch. So many people question whether, the Raptors could handle, Golden State or Philadelphia pick and rolls and all this other stuff. When you watch him, here's a big guy that's not afraid to move his feet. He's not afraid to get away from the basket defensively. His hands are always active. He's got his hands moving, and he's anticipating what's happening out there. And those are the gambles that he can give you, and understanding the angles that, quite frankly, the Raptors weren't getting from Jonas Valanciunas when he was in the game defensively. And that made a huge difference for this team.
Jonas re-signing in Memphis.
I think he's going to have a great year. Here's a guy that was just coming into his own. Had some, prior to being traded and getting hurt, he was having a phenomenal season last year. But again, the differences for this team and what this team needed, Gasol certainly delivered.
Raptors by 3. Here's Patrick McCall. McCall loses it.
Yes, he had that jumper, Matt. Right before he lost that ball. Get to that free throw line, just rise up. You got the big fella Gasol in there for the offensive board.
Westbrook into the front court. Gives it to Tucker, gets it back. 3 to tie it, and he does. 88-88.
And that's why I think it's so important for players not to pass up shots. because to get in the right mindset of making shots, you got to take your looks. And again, in the playoffs, we had some games last season where we saw players passing them shots, but when they got aggressive and just took their shots, that's a foul. Took their shots, they became better offensive because now you're in that mode, you're thinking, and your confidence obviously goes up when you look for your shots.
A 22-9 run. 88-88 with 13.8 remaining in the third quarter. Matt Thomas, and the first free throw is good. Matt on Tuesday Thomas played nearly 14 minutes, was 2 of 5 from 3, had 8 points. Raptors by 2, 4 points now for Thomas. Holding for the final shot of the third, Westbrook tied at 90. Raptors are going to get a chance here, and McCall releases it after the buzzer. Through 3 quarters of action, second preseason game for the Raptors and the Rockets in Tokyo. Tangerine Raptors preseason basketball on Sportsnet. We head to the fourth.
The allegations in the Globe story this morning are false.
There he goes again. But everybody knows he broke the law to help a big corporation get off corruption charges. He said he'd balance the budget, but now we've got never-ending deficits. And he said he'd help the middle class, but then went and hiked our taxes anyways. At the end of the day, Justin Trudeau will say anything to get elected. Justin Trudeau. He can't be trusted. He's not as advertised.
With features like Blue Link with Remote Start and Apple CarPlay, in the Elantra, the world revolves around you. The Hyundai Elantra, connected to you.
Tied at 90 through 3 quarters in Tokyo, giving the fans of the Saitama Super Arena a good look at a fourth quarter. They want a competitive game. Looks like they're going to get it. Back with Michael Grange, I'm Brad Fay. Norm Powell is competing for a starting spot and doing it very well. At 8 points in the third, 22 in the game. What's the key for Norm in this opportunity and going forward this season?
I think what the Raptors will be looking for from Norm Powell is the ability to make decisions in the flow of the offense. Now, you know, when he's going well, he can catch and shoot with the best of them. But, you know, he's so athletic and he's so aggressive that we've seen him over time get in trouble sometimes. When to go, when not to go. I think what you've seen today is where Norm can be as a player. I mean, the 3-ball, it's not always going to fall like this, but he is capable. But, you know, the idea of just taking what the offense gives him, using it in an easy way, and allowing his athleticism to take over.
And a lot of shots left to LA, 2 different teams in Kawhi Leonard and Danny Green, but Norm Powell looks poised to take a lot of those missing shots, make up for that as we go back to Matt and Leo for the fourth.
Tied at 90, and Stanley Johnson fouled by Gerald Green.
No, Matt, Michael made the great point about, you know, Norm just being in the flow, making the right decisions, and we touched on that as well. And if he plays the way he's playing in this game, it'd be tremendous for the Toronto Raptors this season. And same thing, Hollis Jefferson, just that the ability just to get to that offensive glass and give you second and third shot opportunities.
For the first time, we're seeing second-round pick DeJuan Henderson for the Toronto Raptors. Here's Westbrook to the rim,
the and one, and a chance for the Rockets to grab the lead.
Well, he's had some opportunities to drive, and again, you got to adjust defensively. At this point, you want to see him shoot the basketball a little bit more, much like James Harden with a hand in his face. Westbrook getting to the bucket is a scary thought.
Rockets, their first lead since it was 54-53. Westbrook with 20. Westbrook and Harden did not play that much in the second half on Tuesday. Stumbling, Davis, turnover. Green scoops it up. Gerald Green sends it back over to Westbrook. Westbrook by Stanley Johnson.
See, that's good. That's a good job right there. Stanley Johnson took the drive away and just got a hand up. And, you know, Westbrook right now is in driving mode, so get him out of there.
Hollis Jefferson driving, stumbling.
Nice pass.
But he finds Henderson on the inside.
I don't know how he found him there. It was a good look.
Raptors by one. Gordon, no. Davis with a rebound. Davis, lead pass, Hollis Jefferson. And last touch by Houston. And it'll be Toronto basketball.
Second unit again doing a good job of getting to stop and trying to get up the floor quickly. And, you know, when we say that, it doesn't always mean you got to get a layup or take a quick shot, but you just explore your options as so many good opportunities come just from pushing that ball down the floor.
Davis to Johnson. Jumper doesn't go.
That's where you got to be ready to shoot. On the initial catch, you know, Stanley Johnson struggling with his numbers from three, so don't be afraid to take that three, but be ready to shoot it when it gets in your hands as opposed to putting it on the floor and now getting a contested shot.
DeJuan Henderson, many people felt that he would have been a first-round pick. He was injured all of last season. And we saw the Raptors essentially, as Stanley Johnson is charged with an offensive foul.
Sorry, Matt, and you notice what he did on the catch? He passed up another opportunity to shoot a three to try to make it a more difficult shot. But sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you there.
I said Henderson, I meant Hernandez. I apologize. DeJuan Hernandez, but did not play last season at the University of Miami. Played his first two seasons. He was injured, but we saw the Toronto Raptors do that with OG Anunoby. Remember, many people projected him to go early. In fact, in the lottery, Hernandez was projected to be a first-round pick, but then injured all of last year. And Gerald Green's shot doesn't go. Davis with it.
Well, there's a couple of parts to what you're saying, Matt. Oh, nice job. Davis using that strength. You know, the Raptors, one is your scouting, right? The evaluation, and you really have to have a good understanding of the talent level, the character, the personality, and if it fits in your system. And two, Raptors have a great medical staff, so they can look at players like an OG with the ACL, look at players that, you know, what is their status? You know, what is the prognosis? What you know, is this something we should be concerned about? Can we get them back? Even how they evaluated a Kawhi Leonard for last season and took care of it. Alex McKechnie, Director of Sports Science. You know, that's a big advantage for this organization to maybe steal a player or find somebody that other people have given up on.
(96-93). House stumbling. Westbrook gets it back. Foul by Boucher. And are they calling that continuation?
That's where now, if you're one of the guys guarding Westbrook in this situation, you saw an earlier possession where you just stayed in front of him, made him shoot. So, you know, don't change, don't fix what's not broken. If it worked once, try it again.
Foul on Boucher. And a technical foul, because I think Westbrook wanted to get to the line, but the foul was on the floor, and Malcolm Miller misses that shot.
How's that warm jacket doing for you? Good?
It's actually doing
nice and comfortable.
I am. Well, it's cold. Tim and Sid, we got to talk to him about the temperature.
My nose is running.
96, 95. I think Westbrook wanted continuation, which led to that. And that free throw doesn't go. Yeah, they counted the basket, sorry. From where we're broadcasting, we don't necessarily have a direct line of communication with the officials.
There's a little distance. We have a little distance.
So they had continuation, which I'm surprised at. That, to me, under what they're now calling continuation, should not have been continuation. That aside, Raptors lead by 1.
Saturday afternoon
on Sportsnet.
Connor and the Oilers look to shoot out the lights on Broadway. Oilers, Rangers, Saturday on Sportsnet. Tampa still alive. Now Game 5 in Houston, where the Astros have been dominant. Glasnow, Cole, winner to the championship series. Rays Astros tonight on Sportsnet.
The EQ Bank Savings Plus account gives you 2.3% everyday interest and the flexibility of checking. What more could you want?
Hang on, voice guy. How about no fees?
Oh, no problem.
Let's ditch that minimum balance.
Done. Anything else?
I wish for unlimited transactions.
Okay, not a genie, but you got it.
And I want my account to greet me with, "Hello, Jessica, fairest in the land, and smarter than that know-it-all Brenda from book club."
We'll certainly look into that. Get the account that gives you more.
Slick roads and worn tires don't mix. But hey, because we're on this road together, you can save up to 25% off select tires.
Fountain Tire. We're on this road together.
Men's hair goes through a lot, so make sure it's ready for anything. Dove Men Plus Care Fortifying Shampoo is specially engineered for men to leave your hair stronger and more resilient. Dove Men Plus Care.
Not sure how to describe this. With our app, you can snap pics to submit along with your claim, like this.
Wake up, wake up, wake up.
Intact Insurance, the insurance you dream of if you dream of insurance.
Blues Canadiens, Saturday. Sportsnet.
Terrence Davis, the rookie out of Ole Miss.
Nice explosive first step off the dribble. Strong, able to take the contact, still finish in traffic. Yeah, he's a player that I just really enjoy watching. Undrafted, remember? Fred VanVleet, undrafted. You talked about Hernandez, 59th. So nice gamble for the Toronto Raptors based on people sleeping on him, based on his injury.
Played 2 seasons at the University of Miami. Did Hernandez. He is from Miami. 6'11", 235. Three-pointer is good. And Gerald Green with his first made field goal.
Well, how many games have we seen with a Gerald Green where, you know, he goes from not taking any shots to all of a sudden knocking down 3 or 4 and breaking the game open. He's got no conscience when he steps on the floor.
Isaiah Taylor on the court. Raptors down by 2. Clemens, Rivers, Hartenstein, Green, and House for the Rockets. Clemens.
He's not shy. Took 8 3-pointers.
Reggie Miller.
First meeting only made 2, but he's another player that understands when he's on the floor, take that shot.
Malcolm Miller shot doesn't go. 5 points.
卡佩拉的三分还是真的不太行。
8-0 run by the Houston Rockets.
The group that's on the floor.
Reggie Miller.
And you have a rookie at the point guard that's got Terrence Davis is going to have to try to get these guys together here a little bit.
Terrence driving. Shot doesn't go. Hartenstein with a rebound. Here's Gerald Green. Green sidestep. Rivers.
Jimmy
Davis with a rebound and a foul.
It's nice when your guards can help you out. You know, Kyle Lowry, for a player of his size, does an amazing job of rebounding for the Toronto Raptors. There's that Clemens three again. But if you got a player with Davis's size, that can be a huge asset for the Toronto Raptors at the defensive end.
Rockets will not play again till next Wednesday against San Antonio in Houston. Then on Friday in Miami, they will wrap up the preseason. And Davis, offensive foul.
Another strong effort to get in. Let's see if the defender had his feet set. Oh, yeah. Decent job of getting in there. Looked like he was still sliding underneath Davis as he went up.
Raptors and Rockets will face each other twice during the regular season at Scotiabank Arena on December the 5th and then April 5th in Houston. And a whistle, and it's a 3-second violation.
Well, how about that effort? Multiple efforts to try to take that three-point shot away. Got to look here. It's taken away initially, and Boucher runs up, takes it away, and the other defender, Thomas, gets right back into it.
You know, over the last couple of years, Leo, with the new scheduling of the NBA, Boucher with a three-pointer that doesn't go. And the league starting 2 weeks prior, you're seeing some trips that you just would never see before, inclusive of April 5th at Houston, April 7th at Washington, then the 8th, Charlotte. That you would see Washington to Charlotte. But the Raptors undoubtedly will play in Houston. More than likely, you'll now spend the night in Houston and use that off day to travel to Washington because you're losing a couple of hours, more than likely, where typically in the past, if you went to Houston, you'd also go to San Antonio, quite possibly Dallas, do the Texas Triangle, or maybe you'd hit Houston, New Orleans, right? Come up to Memphis.
Oh, we saw that last season, some disjointed travel.
Yeah. And all teams deal with it. Yeah,
exactly.
Hernandez with the rebound. It's going to be Raptors ball down 6.
And also with the, trying to eliminate back-to-backs extended, the extended road trip certainly made it a little different than what we're used to. Like Taylor doing some good things out there, working hard defensively, able to get inside, get that bucket. You have that third guard spot, Payne, Taylor, and of course Davis, who I think has the inside track.
5:50 left. Raptors down 6.
Right now, lease a 2020 Rogue from the equivalent of $76 weekly, or step up to the Rogue Special Edition at no extra charge, and get a $750 winter tire credit.
Royale Velour Plush and Thick Bathroom Tissue is the velvety soft tissue that feels good to the touch. It's the plush and thick brand that won't tear apart easily. Try Velour in longer-lasting Mega Plus rolls with 4 times more sheets. All it takes is one touch to realize says. It's the feeling of Royale Velour plush and thick bathroom tissue. There's a Royale for every room.
Get a $10 Ultimate Dining e-promo card when you buy $20 in Royale products.
The EQ Bank Savings Plus account gives you 2.3% everyday interest and the flexibility of checking. What more could you want?
Hang on, voice guy. How about no fees?
Oh, no problem.
Let's ditch that minimum balance.
Done. Anything else?
I wish for unlimited transactions.
Okay, not a genie, but you got it.
And I want my account to greet me with, "Hello, Jessica, fairest in the land, and smarter than that know-it-all Brenda from book club."
We'll certainly look into that. Get the account that gives you more.
Tangerine Raptors basketball on Sportsnet. Brought to you by Tangerine, the official bank of the Toronto Raptors and their fans.
Opening night, Tuesday, October the 22nd, the ring ceremony, 7 o'clock Eastern, 4 o'clock Pacific on Sportsnet 1. Pelicans, Zion Williamson, the defending NBA champions, and the Raptors here down by 6.
Rings and Zion. That's a good start.
Yeah.
Well, he's looking good, huh?
He is.
You know, kind of an effortless transition to the NBA. Obviously, preseason a little different, but he is strong. He's fast, and I thought David Griffin has done a great job in New Orleans putting veterans around to take the pressure off.
J.J. Redick, his house in the paint. Hernandez, a great job underneath. Second chance. Shot clock down to 4. Rivers 3. No. Offensive rebound put back by Green.
Oh, what a catch. Great anticipation, timing.
Raptors down by 8. Boucher has it taken away. Taylor. Clemens firing away. And here's Davis with it. 5 minutes remaining.
Miller was
wide open.
Yeah, he was clapping for that ball, trying to get Davis's attention. Go, hey, nobody's guarding me. Give it to me. Let's go.
And a 5-point game. And Green is leaving. You see him headed back now to the locker room as he hobbles.
And that'll help the Raptors out a little bit. One of the veteran players that's on the floor right now for the Rockets.
And a timeout's going to be taken by the Houston Rockets. Mike D'Antoni. Raptors down by 5.
Over a century ago, Woods outfitted the first explorers to successfully navigate the Northwest Passage. Now, we're back with our newest generation of jackets. Inspired by everywhere we've taken them. Designed for wherever you take them next. Woods, True North Strong. Sport check.
Some have said that deep within the blackest seas exists a beast named the Kraken. Those people, of course.
Out here!
Have never been seen again. The Kraken Black Spiced Rum.
Norman Powell continues to impress here in the preseason, especially shooting the 3.
Yeah, he's getting great looks. He's shooting them with a lot of confidence, not hesitating. He's also, you know, as we keep making a point, you know, making great decisions with the basketball. Nice pass from Thomas.
Hernandez lays it up and in. And it's a 3-point game.
You know, one of the things Thomas is going to find out real quick about the NBA, people are going to do everything they can to run him off the 3-point line. So decisions he can make with the basketball, finding his teammates like that, or creating off that 1 or 2 dribbles are going to be key for him.
Miller with a rebound. Taylor. Shot doesn't go. Situation maybe where you want to pull it back out.
Yeah, no rush.
Get something better. 3:55 left here in the second game
of a 2-game set. The Japan Games 2019 from Tokyo. Ben McLemore spinning around. Taylor, turnover. Hernandez running the floor. Thomas, no. Hernandez, second chance opportunity. And Rivers takes it away. Raptors a couple opportunities after getting stops at this end. Rivers, here's House. McLemore 3, Hartenstein rebound. Deep 3, Clemens, no. And it's going to be Toronto basketball.
Well, fortunately for the Raptors, they continue to get another opportunity here. Houston just staying out in the perimeter, shooting the 3.
Pounds checking in out of St. John's. Marty Pounds on Tuesday played under 5 minutes. So great read. Boucher with a slam dunk.
I tell you what, Patty, we've seen a couple of passes now from Hernandez. I mean, sees the floor well. And you got to remember, you don't play for a year or two. It takes a while to kind of get back into the flow and feel comfortable out there. Whoa! Got to get a little help in the rotation there, a little more communication as Hernandez comes out to help out up high.
3-point game. Boucher guarded by Clemens. Thomas deep 3 doesn't go. With 2:20 left. Hartenstein, and the cut underneath Pounds sends it to McLemore in the corner. Air ball. As he tries to refine his form. As Boucher slices through, and it's a 1-point game.
Yeah, Boucher, you know, I like him in the open floor, man. He runs so well, and nice job of just avoiding the defender on that play.
Steal by Miller, and out of bounds along the end line.
Is this going to be our overtime game, Eddie, in the preseason?
Really? You just said that? You just said that?
Yeah, that's a mistake. I'm sorry.
Really? If we go OT, we'll need more coffee and donuts.
More fuel. More fuel. Although, wait a minute.
At 4:15
It's after 8. It's after 8. We're on now we're being watched.
Clemens. At least we won't have the 4:15 a.m. wake-up call. 1:46 left here.
Did the 4:15, huh? I did the 4:40.
Well, that was the first time the alarm went off.
I'm a big snooze guy. Are you a snooze guy? I have the multiple
double alarms and the multiple snooze.
Yeah, I love the snooze. Which, you know, my wife's not too happy about the fact that I like the snooze button. I can get a foot in the back saying, okay, your alarm went off. Get out.
108, 107. And Clemens, the first free throw is good. In a 2-point game with 1:39 to go in the fourth. Be interesting to see come Sunday, the one preseason game at home. I would imagine based upon the travel, right? You may see more of the rotation. Nick Nurse being more liberal, right, with who he's going to use.
At the same time, for a lot of guys, obviously, your only home game in the preseason, there's going to be a little energy too, a little shot of adrenaline to be able to show well for the fans at home.
And the foul in this 1-point game with 1:17 to go. Although I would imagine come October the 22nd, that'll be
That's a tough game though, man. You know, I've been in one of those games. Yeah, I've been in one of those games with the Sixers when they were getting their rings, playing against at the time the Washington Bullets. And I'll tell you what, it was a tough game. The Sixers barely won that game because of all the emotion surrounding it.
House at the line.
with 1:17 left. First free throw good. And the second free throw good as well, 112-109. 1:15 left here in the fourth. Boucher attacking, stepping into a three and an air ball for Taylor. Pass stolen.
Great job of recovering, missing the shot, but coming right back, getting the steal and then the pass.
Hernandez is fouled by Hartenstein.
That's one of the things that's kind of jumped out at me in this game. You know, Taylor hasn't played a lot in this game, but he's very active defensively, Matt. We've seen him contest shots, doing a nice job of getting back, and in that transition mentality where, hey, I missed a shot, I'm not going to worry about the shot. Next play, next possession.
First free throw good. Chance here to make it a one-point game.
Hernandez, nice job at the free throw line. And,
great job.
You know, I like the way he runs the floor, too. And active, big.
112-111. Rockets by one. Hartenstein pounds. Here's House. On with Clements. McLemore tucked away in the corner. Lower right of your screen. House, sidestep. Ray Boucher with the block. And 1.8 left on the shot clock.
Well, good job by Boucher staying back. You don't want to foul in these situations. Don't risk a foul. That was close right there, but you know, certainly take all the drive opportunities away. Good defense there, Matt Thomas.
Batted around Hartenstein. McLemore. The big three. 115-111. 26.3 remaining. And Nick Nurse uses a timeout. We'll take a timeout as well. Tangerine Raptors preseason basketball.
Skechers. Skechers.
Today, we journeyed to a secret beach. And then, my mommy gave me an ice cream. Wow. Good story.
Air Transat. Vacation is calling.
If we all had a ring-shaped reinforced safety frame, we'd all be as safe as a Subaru.
Eggs for lunch?
I eat eggs anytime. They're quick.
That's weird.
It's not weird. You're weird. Your girlfriend looks like mom.
Eggs for lunch isn't weird. You're weird for thinking it's weird.
McLemore with the three.
And he was due, Matty. That's just 1 for 5. That's his first make. But that was a big one here for the Rockets coming down the stretch.
Raptors down 4. .3 left. Taylor to inbound it. Thomas turns and turns it over.
And you see he absolutely had no room right there. Rockets not going to allow him any chance to get a shot.
And off of Taylor, nearly taken away. And the Raptors running out of time here in this 4-point game, and a foul. And Pounds is fouled. And the foul on Chris Boucher.
Chris Boucher, this is a big opportunity for him to, any opportunity in the preseason, and then the Raptors are going to have to make their decisions on roster spots. But he's a player that obviously had a big impact with the G League team and his opportunities, with the main team last season. So it'll be interesting to see how things play out for Chris Boucher of Montreal.
116-111. Raptors took the first game in a high-scoring affair. This one, you can tell both coaches talked a little bit about.
Can we guard just a little bit tonight?
A little bit of what they wanted to see on the defensive end.
Well, and for a lot of guys, you want to make the squad or you want to get some minutes. Show that you can guard. Show that you can be a stopper out there and not a liability.
Well, that's going to do it. With 7.2 to go here. 117-111. Raptors will return home, take on Chicago on Sunday. The Houston Rockets return home. They'll take on San Antonio next Wednesday, and they will split this two-game mini-series in the preseason from Tokyo. And we appreciate Tim and Sid allowing us to utilize their spacious studio.
Just wouldn't utilize the heat.
Yeah, well, they definitely turned it off. And an air ball, and that's going to do it. 118-111, the Houston Rockets and the Toronto Raptors getting an opportunity to see Norman Powell flourish.
Big game for him.
Yeah.
Solid game. Good decisions. Great job shooting the three.
Raptors fall 118-111 as we send it to Brad Fay and to Michael Grange. Brad?
Matt, Leo, we will see you guys very shortly. The opener, regular season opener, is on Sportsnet. Of course, as the boys touched on, the Raptors will get their rings. The banner will be raised. It's an hour pregame show. You'll see all of it right here. And then Zion Williamson and the Pelicans taking on the Toronto Raptors. They split the exhibition games in Japan, losing to the Rockets on this day, and come back home. They're on their way later tonight.
Coming in by McDavid, straight up the middle, McDavid scores! And Connor is back in business.
He punches right through the defenders and shelves this one short side, and he does not miss from there.
First and goal from the 5. Give to McCaffrey. Trying to get around the outside. He got McCaffrey leaps. Touchdown! Up and in. What a play by Christian McCaffrey.
You don't have to block everybody. You just have to remove them. And then at the last minute, where's Superman? Cam Newton? No, he's not here. Christian McCaffrey is, though. This is just great physical play, being able to do something that a lot of people can't do. I can't do a somersault even off a trampoline.
Dadnoff had the partial breakaway in the first. A couple of great chances for him tonight. A turnover by the Panthers. Cirelli walks in the pass. Oh, Bobrovsky rocks Pawan. Sergei Bobrovsky, welcome to the Florida Panthers. An incredible glove save to keep us tied.
The 1-1 from Cole. Backhanded by Correa. At first line, and Diaz is out at first.
I mean, that's absolutely ridiculous. Just a perfect throw. Gurriel with a nice stretch at first. Carlos Correa, he was ready for the first hitter.
I'd say, what a play.
The Stars able to get one ahead for Tyler Seguin with 33 goals and 80 points last season. And what a play that was.
That's wonderful hands by one of the greatest offensive players that Dallas has got. Boy, oh boy.
Sarah's been really effective since coming in.
Some pass from Thiago, and sees the ball by Gnabry, who's on a hat-trick and has a hat-trick. Wonderful pass from Thiago Alcantara, and Serge Gnabry seized upon it.
Superb delivery of pass, great first touch, clinically side-footed in into the far corner. A wonderful hat-trick.
Oh, what a
clarity in his mind of where he needed to hit the ball, where he needed to make life difficult for Millman.
It's intercepted. Blocking. Moves it ahead. Konechny in. Konechny drags it back. And what a goal! Travis Konechny!
What a move. As Buckle turned over the stick from Watch. He's waiting on Konechny. He's waiting on Konechny. Finally gets it. And a quick release over the shoulder of Corey Crawford. That was gorgeous.
And now Wall is back in his familiar two spot. It's off the glove of Soroka. Going to get to play now. Swanson bare hands throws and in time. Wow.
Soroka touched it and took some of the speed off that ground ball. It had to be a bare hand play by Swanson, who put something on it.
Swanson made it look easy.
From TJ Perenara for the running. Here's the pass to George Bridge. Brilliant from Perenara. Picks up by Urani. Weber. Oh, around the back from Weber to Perenara. And the finish. Rock and roll rugby from New Zealand. That was absolutely ridiculous stuff. Outrageous.
I was going to say, AJ, the first thing we learned is to keep your head up in hockey, and it's a good piece of advice. Oh, did you see that? That is commitment right there.
Terrific touch pass. And
That's a whole new spin on tuck and roll right there. That's the save of the night.
Turned over. Altidore. Bustling off. Room a save. Bradley. Room again. Curacao man keeps it clean with two fabulous stops. No beached whales. He pushed him back into the water.
Handle back at center ice now. And a giveaway to Cirelli. Here's Kucherov taking aim, faking, stepping in. Stamkos. And his shot deflected by Yandel.
That's goaltending. Goaltending with the shaft of the stick on a hard shot by Stamkos. Stamkos ripped that wrist shot and Yandel beat him.
lays down the bunt. Kershaw. What a play. A guy with speed. Kershaw went to a knee and then gunned him down.
Yeah, what a play here. Talk about bouncing off the mound.
That is big time.
And he gets him.
30 seconds left in the power play. Bertuzzi over the blue line. Skates through. Tag Bertuzzi. What a goal. Tag Bertuzzi brings the crowd to its feet here in Hamilton.
He goes 1-on-3 and walks in and beats Vanilla with the three Kingston defenders. What a move by Bertuzzi.
On first down, Wilson keeps. Surveys, nowhere to go, and back in the end zone. Touchdown! What a catch by Tyler Lockett.
There was nowhere for Russell to throw the football, and even when he threw it, there was nowhere for him to throw the ball. That is unbelievable.
He said, I work out with them every chance I could get. Here's Fowler. Score!
He dangled around the defender and hit the top corner. What a play and what a finish by Cam Fowler.
Only 15% of the balls hit or line drives off him because of the movement.
To the right side, diving stop by Joy. Castillo covering, what a play.
I mean, just the height that Joe was in the air before he landed. I mean, he's going to be really sore tomorrow.
That was fun to watch.
ไม่มีโอกาสครับประลองครั้งหนึ่งตักโด่เข้ามาลูกนี้บ่มเกลียนทิ้งไม่ได้ครับไปวัดเอกนัทตักไปทีที่2-2ตะวัดยิงโอ้โหไล่มา2-3โอ้โหยิงสวยมากครับลูกนี้กิตตาโอ้โหโอ้ท่านี้แม่
Dallas is on their heels.
Redwoods starting to find their game. Nampa drives the goal.
Boy, oh boy, oh boy. What a goal. That is a magnificent individual effort.
Mahomes flushed out again all the way back. Turning the corner, fires downfield. Caught. Touchdown.
Stop it. Stop it. You can't do this. You can't escape. You can't make these plays. You can't make these throws. Patrick Mahomes, just stop it.
That is pulled to the right side. Stop by Torres. Throw to first. In time.
What a play on both ends. Torres in short right. LeMahieu on the backhand.
Quick up here for Gensel. Crosby takes it. Nice maneuver. Got it to Hornquist. He scores!
Did I just see that? I mean, that was incredible what Crosby just did. That is just spectacular stuff.
Ajá, ahí con el centro. Chiste colado, madre mía, ahí. El túnel, el chiste colado. Aguanta colado, aguanta colado. El solo dividido colado. Espectacular el tanto de Alex Colado después de una jugada absolutamente maravillosa de un crack el desarrollo de Alex Colado.
Stamkos now. Back again for Hedman. Here's Kucherov. Stamkos, one-timer, faked it. Kucherov shoots. Oh, Sergei Bobrovsky! You gotta be kidding me with that glove save.
It's not only talent, but it's also anticipation. Look, he moved right away and got the glove out. Oh, man, that is pretty to watch.
In the air to right center field and well hit. Keep your eye on it, and that ball is caught by Adam Eaton. What a sliding grab on the warning track.
Beautiful catch.
Oh, that is a beauty.
Goff throws, pass incomplete for Everett. Look at Thompson. Hand under it. And then he secures it. And the Seahawks are going to challenge.
Hey, Joe, you know they're going to take over when the umpire already spotted the ball at the 48-yard line. So that's a pretty good idea that they're going to reverse this.
5 men from Palmieri and Hall at 12:34. Bouncing puck. Here's Coleman. Got a shot. He scored! Oh, my goodness, Frank Coleman!
Oh, my. What an individual one-handed effort. Highlight reel style. This is remarkable. Look at this effort by Frank Coleman. That is fantastic.
Everybody knows not to drink and drive, but some people still think it's okay to take drugs and drive. Police have the authority, the ability, and the tools to determine if drivers are impaired by legal or illegal drugs. And because drug-impaired drivers can pose just as great a risk as drunk drivers, they face the same penalties, like the loss of their driver's license, a criminal record, fines, and more. A message from the RCMP, the Canadian Association of Chiefs of Police, and Arrive Alive Drive Sober.
Today, we journeyed to a secret beach, and then my mommy gave me an ice cream. Wow, good story.
Air Transat Vacation is calling. Love is an adventure, and when you're ready, there's a ring for you at Michael Hill. Choose from the widest range of designs, crafted in fine jewels and precious metals. And we've always got you covered with our Michael Hill Lifetime Diamond Guarantee.
The original Ghost Pepper Burrito is back. Only at Mucho Burrito.
Introducing the new GLS, a 7-passenger luxury SUV.
Are you ready to go?
Possibly the safest, most spacious, most Mercedes SUV ever made. Mercedes-Benz, the best or nothing.
Minute goal, take away by Montsev.
Wow, what a move.
Get noticed if you're a young player. This type of goal will get you noticed.
That's a fabulous play.
Wow.
With the ability to hit the ball out of the ballpark, always plays.
Ball in the end of center field. That ball's hit deep, going back at the wall. Up and a great catch. Austin Hayes robs him of a home run. And Guerrero takes his cap off and raises it high, saluting Hayes.
That's one of the prettiest catches you're going to see. All the way back to the wall.
Full extension. Times his lead perfectly, and he takes a home run away from Vladdy.
I think he's a little bit excited.
And he returns the salute to Guerrero.
Wide for Diallo. He crosses the center.
Nemo! That's how
A spectacular goal from Neymar.
That is pure genius to finish that. Get it in off the post. Nice build-up, and Cardi involved as well. But, oh, this is true brilliance from Neymar. That is magical. Took a long time coming, over 90 minutes, but it was well worth the wait.
Second and 12. Mayfield wants all of it. What an effort by OBJ.
Oh my God!
One-handed. Welcome back.
It's just one-on-one coverage out there. Wow. Just tremendous ball placement by Baker Mayfield. An unbelievable catch by OBJ.
Jeremy is pushed off the puck, but back goes to Burrow. Double deflection, set, rebound! He scores! Or did he? He did not. Up went the stick for Frost, but the referee right out of the seat said that I got it. And Frost thought he had his first goal, but Alak is better than goalies. They can be spectacular.
Runner goes. Pitches line the opposite way of base hit. Soto's going to at least get to third. Then they score. Henley's going to wave it home. The throw by Harper to the plate on one hop. He is out at the plate. What a throw by Bryce Harper. Wow, was that a cannon from Bryce in right center field. I don't know if you're going to find a more accurate arm in the National League right now than what we've seen from Bryce this year.
He has been absolutely amazing.
They're going. Tagovailoa all day to throw. Crossing route, Najee Harris.